Okay, I'm live. I'm live. So Michael Omni-Eris, the guy's changed names more than Shares has changed boyfriends. But he Dooch should be joining us. I got a DM from him around 4:30. I've been running around. I got a DM from around 4:30, him around 4:30, asking what the hell's going on. I sent him a link, so hopefully we get the good word out there. And yeah, in the meantime, oh, a whole bunch of people are here. Everybody, if you're on Twitter, start spamming that we're ready for Michael to join. And we'll get there. Let me go to YouTube to tweet out this link. If we do a little pre-show, I don't think it'll be problematic. I don't think too many people will be thrown off. I assure you whoop, that he will be joining us. I assure you that he will be joining us. He's like in a ditch somewhere, like, ah. No, no, no. Meanwhile, in the meanwhile, we had some fun covering Mother of Positive Side of 2012, and it's official. They have decided Adonai himself, you know, God, has apparently uh, given the green light. I've been greenlit, right? What they used to say on Nut Breaking Bad on Sons of Anarchy. Adonai greenlit the hit on me. They're going to eliminate me from the virtual reality moon matrix for having the audacity of pointing out logical inconsistencies in the tales of them. But we'll see. I'm fairly confident NASA still exists, so I'm fairly confident I will continue to live. And I mean, look, I mean, I keep on picking fights with these people. Eventually, one of them is going to score, right? I guarantee you. So we've had in the past what month between positive side of 20. Remember the positive side of 2012 and what's his name, Tim Refat. Between the two of them, um, I'm due to be killed on the astral or whatever. So just you watch, like all these people say that I'm gonna die because of crossing their path in 2021. But the obituary will go out, on me like 65 years from now, and they'll be like, "You say that'll teach you to fuck with us?" Yeah, well, I love you guys, and I love them. Just waiting for Michael to join us. Yeah, I'll keep Twitter open so I can try and see if any correspondence comes through. Oh, okay. Well, he liked the tweet. He retweeted the tweet. So, oh, okay. We should be good to go. We should be good to go. Jonaside says, "I got your Astro back." Hey, if you got my Astro back, don't forget to bring the Astro Glide. Hello, operator. Number 69, whatever. I don't know. Like some variation on there. Um, there you go. God bless. God bless. God is bless. Yeah, you know what I mean? What are we gonna do? You know what I mean? It's like I gotta tell you something. It's like I know that I'm doing something, that there's something wrong with my mentality because I tune into a YouTube channel that is basically threatening to kill me on the astral, and I'm like, career's looking up. All right, score. He shoots, he scores. The one thing I would say is that I don't think I'll be covering them, much in the future, just because I do think that that's like, it's these people seem to be under an intense amount of mental stress, and I don't think adding mental stress is going to add anything to the situation or help in any way. But like I said, like I defend myself. Like I think this is necessary to cover. I think that this is absolutely necessary to cover. Um, though it might be, difficult to talk about or kind of, make us ask questions. Um, to ignore it and to allow it to just go on in this microcosm, I don't think is healthy. Here is the theory. The theory is that either someone searching for Positive Side of 2012 will come across our channel, and maybe it'll just prompt them to ask one or two critical questions. And those critical questions need not bring them over to the realm of, I no longer believe in the astral, I no longer believe in UFOs, I no longer believe in ascension or whatever. It need only bring them to ask the question, what's going on with this particular group of people? Is this healthy? Is this serving anybody's needs? Is this my higher calling? Is this offensive to my inner conscience, my inner voice, my higher self? And I think if we do that, it's inevitable that things will just be what they are. I also stand by the things that what these people are saying are absolutely dehumanizing to certain races of people. They're ugly statements, and the fact that I think that needs to be pointed out. I think that people making ugly, racist, nasty statements, threatening people, they absolutely threatened my life. They absolutely said that I don't that they'd reached out and what's the communication? Uh, I am getting Adonai says that the order is elimination. Okay, you know what I mean? And the only thing that I feel guilty about is that it seems like something about mentioning, I think Nazima and Ame really got under their skin and freaked them out. You're the ones putting yourselves on YouTube. You know what I mean? Like, what did you think that you should be allowed to go on YouTube, say things like that you're gonna kill these people and get these people, and the Kazarian Mafia and the NSA or at NASA's is being eliminated. You're gonna see people be, just drop dead. That you're allowed to endorse those mean messages, those death threats, and that I can't mention your name and say these individuals are on this YouTube channel making these statements or endorsing these statements. And the mother goes, they're not children. They're not your children. They're not your children. They're members of your organization. That's fine. You start saying they're your children, we know how this goes down. That's cult 101. Call this person father, call this person mother. Whether it's Amma with 1 million followers or you with 100. Bad news. What is good news? Da, 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 da. I never, whenever, hold on, let's see what's going on. Are you muted? Are you unmuted? Can I hear you? I can't hear you. Is it saying on my end? If I mute, try it now. I cannot hear you. Michael, can you hear me? I can see you. You're looking fantastic. Well, you look a little grainy. We're going to figure it out. Don't worry. If you love me, worship me and adore me, and you think everyone needs to subscribe to, damn it. I was about to do the say nothing. I was going to do a whole line of say nothing. We'll get this. We'll get this. We'll figure it out. Hey, look, he's Mr. StreamYard. I mean, not Mr. StreamYard. He messes around with that high tech stuff. What do they call that there? The Blase Blue. What's that thing that everyone was using? Not StreamYard. The other one, the bigger one, the one for like the people who know how to program and stuff. I forget what it's called. Anyway, I can't remember what the heck it was. What thing am I thinking of? Not the live, the other one. There was this OBS. Thank you, Pragmagic OBS. What is it, Doc? It's a simple thing that many women your age have. It's called OBS. OBS? Don't panic. Don't worry. There's a simple protocol medication. It may cause diarrhea, excessive bloating, vomiting from the mouth, vomiting from the ass, ear bleeding, nose bleeding. Your eyes may pop out, but your OBS will be cured. Thank you, Doc. I don't know what I'd do without you. I don't know either, but have an OBS kind of day. OBS. He messes with that OBS shit, and that's some next level stuff. So he'll be able to figure it out. It could be worse. I'm afraid. There you go. Is it the cure? Is it the symptom, the cure, or the medication? We haven't figured it out yet. We'll figure it out. It could be worse, madam. It could be OBS Studio. Here it goes. Scene. What is it, Doc? Give it to me straight. What's going on? I'm afraid the test came back positive. You mean it's OBS? Sit down, Mrs. McGurtry. Have you ever heard of OBS Studio? No, no. Is it better? No, no. It's far worse. What happens in OBS Studio? CW Chanter's going to come over to your house and just start talking. Will it go away? Will he ever leave? Nah. He'd be able to leave if he could figure out how to disconnect. Unfortunately, it's OBS Studio, and he couldn't even figure out OBS. But the people at tech support, CW Chanter's an idiot, ma'am. I'm sorry. This is going to be a lifelong condition. No longer come to the office because I don't want to deal with that guy. So he joined once, and we had technical issues. So I'm sure he'll be joining again. He'll plug something, he'll unplug something, he'll plug it back in, and of course the positive side of 2012 people, Mama will be like, "You see, you come rolling up on my children. I'll come at you with that lingo. Have fun trying to work your microphone on OBS." We say hello to Out of Mind. Might as well do the whole roll call thing while we're killing time, while we're vamping. Pragmagic first in the live chat, as I see, followed by Jasmine Emmerich. I know Jasmine can't pay attention to the live chat. She's going to listen to the background while she does. She cleans the grout out of the bathroom, whatever is going on today. God bless you, Jasmine. Jonaside is here with us, getting that bronze. So we've got Pragmagic, Jasmine, and Jonaside with the gold, silver, and bronze awards for YouTube, respectively. Lisa Kane in the fourth position. We always mention fourth place. Lisa Kane, keep reaching for that rainbow. We've got Reemsey here with us. No way. Reemsey's tuned into the CW Chanter Meets Michael Omni-Eris broadcast. No way. Reemsey probably is wearing a smoking jacket. Pop popcorn, right? You know what I mean? Toby, be quiet. Pay attention. There you go. I have pants on, allegedly. There you go. We got ba 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 ba. We got Via's here with us tonight. We got Robin Eaglesong with us. Robin Eaglesong says, I left Shaney's chat to come here. Hi, everybody. It's Shaney for Christ, right? That's the one, the Shaney to which you refer. I got subscribed to her. I got followers. Is she on YouTube or is it some BitChute or D-Live nonsense with that gal? We got Reemsey. Reemsey. It says it's wrong to be mean to people on the astral. Probably. I love hedging your bets. I'm going to make a definitive statement right here. Abuse and violence on the astral plane is verboten. Probably. Mark Robertson is also with us. Got Jason Matta here with us saying hello to Robin. It's a party. It's a party. We'll figure it out. Bee Gees is here. Hello to BG. Stephen Ronan, here you are. You're here at the outset. You're here at the dawn of a new journey, the dawn of a thing. Tanya Alamend is here, saying hello to everyone. We've got Zerdos, 8519. Can you just Roman numerals? That's awesome. Can we not? Can we please? You know what I mean? Would it kill you? There you go. No one's with us on Twitch. We got Maria Durnan is here with us. Welcome to the show. What's Fed posting? L. Kennedy Esky Mama is here. All right, this must be Michael Omni-Eris' fan base here. Chris Connolly is here with us. Hey. Oh, so CW says, Chris Connolly says, CW, how can I donate to you, brother? So we lost monetization, which means we lost the super chats, was the primary way to instantly give me support financially. We do have a Patreon. The link is in the description box below. You can join for at least a little as $1 a month. I know that a lot of people aren't comfortable with that protocol and prefer, when available, when they can, when they can budget for it, to just give a one-time donation. I'm aware that there are practical and pragmatic things that I can do to facilitate these transactions, namely make and maintain a PayPal donation button or tip jar. So far, I have not had the time in my day to set that up. That's just the reality of the situation. I swear to Jesus, the time I have to do this hobby of YouTube is spent doing this hobby of YouTube. Let's see what we got now.
Sorry about
All
that. I
right,
had to restart my computer.
that's it. Hey, listen, you know, we got you here now, baby. We got you here now.
It sucks because I had a soundboard set up and I was going to play Todd singing Forgiveness every 5 minutes to annoy you, but I can't because it's just not working now. So, oh well. I'll sing it.
That's fine. That's God intercepting your bad, devious, deceptive plans.
It's not going to work. God's tried to do that before.
But so I mean, we're just gonna. I think we should just jump in and just hang, and then the live chat can just observe, and as we catch up. The last time we spoke was kind of offline, essentially, when Todd first began kind of publicly.
Oh yeah.
Batting out on everybody, including me and you, and we tried to basically, to be honest, I think you and I both tried to do an intervention at first.
Well, I didn't. I know exactly what this night must haunt him, but I only remember it because he made such an obnoxious impression on me when he came on your show, and there were like 8 people on your show, and usually everyone tries to get an equal amount. Maybe the host will speak more, or maybe a particular person will have a little more to say, but he wasn't letting anyone speak. Everyone who started talking, he thought he knew what they were going to say and would try to get in front of what they were going to say, but he was being a contrarian about it. So he was hallucinating things that he was being a contrarian about. And I think after like 45 minutes, I just had a pounding headache, and I was like, I got to get out of here. Like, I can't listen to this fucking guy anymore.
Yeah, no, listen, I mean, what I'll say, what I understand in retrospect is, like, many of us, we come in different shapes and sizes, and everybody's got their challenges and their problems, and some people's challenges and problems prevent them from being able to, you know, process external stimuli. And I think there was also an additional factor of, he was just getting into the YouTube thing, and it was just like one of his first, you know, live chats, and that's what famously happened. Was I didn't know how to handle it. He was of a particular type. It was difficult to deal with. No one was getting a word in edgewise, and so eventually I had to interrupt and kind of, and it was a spontaneous reaction by me. I tried to be coy about it, like, let's maybe.
He didn't read your social cues, remember?
You
said you gave me social cues, but I didn't see any. Boop, 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 boop.
Some people can't see social cues. You know how many times I've been like going off on somebody in the live chat, and the cooler heads that prevail will be like, in my live chat will be like, hey, Ben, maybe they're not hearing you, even though you're saying it 1,000 times, because they can't hear you. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, ah. But anyway, so that turned into a whole thing because I muted him or whatever happened, or I kicked him off the broadcast. I mean, look, what was it going to do? Yeah, I mean, no one was able to talk. No one was able to communicate.
He also said that you had put him on a pedestal. Did you remember him saying that? He said you put him up on a pedestal at first. It's like, dude, you're hallucinating. He thinks people are kissing his feet because he sucks off Bret Easton Ellis once every 5 years.
But listen. So I'll know this is that when I was going to have you on, I said to myself, he's going to talk about Todd. You know, there's people. This is the deal. So my audience, we're both nasty people, you and I. But my audience has a flavor of like, we're just slightly less nasty than the psychic vampire crew and your your demographic. So there are people who are like, oh, come on, Todd has problems. He's got real problems. You know what I mean?
Does.
They're like, don't talk about him. He's mean. And I've got close personal friends that would, you know, that still, you know, pray for him and hope the best for him and feel bad and know that there's nothing you can do when somebody is kind of excising themselves from getting help and is not, you know, paying attention to the issues that if you've got mental health issues, thank God there are things that you can do about them. They're not always ideal. They might not always and they might not make your life perfect, but there's things you can do. And if you don't avail yourself of that help, you can find yourself in a distant corner doing nutty things on the internet, creating a whole bunch of bad. I don't know how this thing is not blown back on Brett.
It's going to. This last 2 months is just a seed that Todd has like. Already he's messing with people on Brett's Twitter account. Brett's having to delete tweets off of Twitter. I think he called a black woman a black B word on Brett's Twitter account. I mean, it's just nuts. And Brett just must be totally out of it, must not be paying any. There's no explanation.
Listen, that's something pathological in itself. If you are a professional and you've got that sort of energy in your house, and you are not only not absolutely controlling it, not demanding that they receive help, and also still allowing them to take some sort of responsibility or work or lead some aspects of your social media or whatever, you've got something pathological going on. I can't believe that Brett doesn't have some sort of manager or publisher at this point say, what the fuck are you doing? Oh, okay.
I think that's why those tweets got deleted. But who knows, like you said, but it's not just Todd like spinning out while Brett does nothing. Now Todd has caught Brett in the spin, and now Brett's in Todd's whirlpool getting sucked down into the toilet. I mean, well, it's weird because I'm saying Todd's both the toilet and the turd that's getting flushed down it. But, you know, metaphors get mixed sometimes.
Right, no, I understand. I'll interrupt and say here, and let's not dehumanize him. He's neither a turd nor the punch bowl.
He is a turd.
No, you may feel that way because he's got you angry and you have every reason to be angry with him. But he's a human being.
You sure?
I believe you may. You know,
I know that's your thing this week, but he is a turd. He can be a human being and a turd.
Well, listen, here's what I'll say, because I don't want to be a hypocrite. Or not. I don't know if hypocrite is the word, but I don't want to bullshit anybody. At the same time that I'm saying this, he's a human being. That's the baseline that I'm holding. That I will repeat that he's a human being. I'm subscribed to your Hollywood douchebag of the month, whatever the YouTube channel is.
I put a lot of work into that. People have no idea the amount of work. I have to organize his scattered thoughts. Go ahead.
And it's like, how do you pick it's like, how do you frame it? Like, where's the end? Where do you enter? Where do you exit? And what's not the goal? You know, what doesn't prove the essential point of, we should put that link in the I didn't put it in the description box below, but we can enter it into the live chat.
I'm actually dying to explain how it works to people, because I know I don't get to explain it to anyone but Greg, and he's probably tired of hearing about it.
Explain what works?
The way that I choose how to put on that channel, I'll take his whole, like he did 2.5 hours of streaming last night, which I have to sift through after we're done talking. And so I will find the first part of a point he's making, and I'll put that in one file. And then he'll ramble off into something else, like CW's a narcissist for like 3 minutes. That goes in this file. And then if he gets back on the first point, I connect it back to the first file, and I go through all 2.5 hours. And I'll only cut out the most, if he's just rambling about something that literally nobody gives a shit about, I'll cut it out. Or if he's playing away on the piano. But I spend like 15 hours a week aggregating this guy's videos. That probably makes me sound like a loser.
No, it doesn't make you sound like a loser, but it makes the point. What ends up happening is that it's not quite like a shark and the lampreys that hang on to them. It's not like necessarily a parasitic relationship, but it definitely is like, who is Lex Luthor without Superman? Who is Superman without Lex Luthor? What's the Batman without Joker, and vice versa? We just enter into this weird, like, they do what they do, and then content is generated by the commentary community or whatever you want to characterize it. And then there's feedback and response and freakouts.
Yeah, it's a loop.
More content. It's a total loop. So it's like
it's a tightening loop. They just get crazier and crazier.
Well, but then again, at the same time, because eventually where it takes hold is like you're just going to stop like editing the videos. You're just going to upload wholesale, going, you see, you
Yeah.
see,
I
and
was
then
thinking about that. I was like, I can't do this for much longer. Like, I can't sit and listen to Todd's voice in my head that long. I know I need segments for my show, but is it worth my soul, really?
and if you think about the other people that you cover as well, I mean, you're when you die, like how much of your lifetime will have been spent contemplating, thinking about, studying, and
It was
editing the work
fun.
of people that you absolutely know, like add nothing to the conversation, and
Yeah, but I
you know,
made them upset. It was worth it to upset them. So, that's really what it's all about. I don't really care. Like, when I focused in on Justin, like, most people don't give a crap about Justin, but like, I don't care if he's the only person that's affected by me talking about him, then good, because he needs to think about what he puts on the internet, just like Todd does and the various other people.
right. So what is like the modus operandi? Like, what drives you to do what you do? Is it pure animosity? You want to give these
It's
people upset
disbelief
Roscoe?
sometimes.
Okay.
Well, it is. I At this point, I usually only will really heavily one if I can tell right out of the gate that they're a piece of like trash. Like, there's this lady, Jackie Chesney, I just found a few weeks ago. She's a targeted individual. She gives her name and her location. She drives Uber and Lyft, and she's making videos about how her passions are little children are coming onto her sexually because their parents put them up to it. And it's like, this lady's a piece of trash. Like, I have no guilt at all about fully dragging her over. And I usually just focus on people who I think are really disgusting at this point. But it used to just be look at the freak. But still a bit of that.
No, I mean, look, and so it's like I did something recently. I've covered these people, and sometimes I cover people that are specifically you can identify as a grifter and a bullshitter. They never contacted
Right.
aliens. They don't think they contacted aliens, but they tell people that they did. They have all these outrageous stories. You can tell by their calm, their flat affect that they're not traumatized, they're not mentally disturbed, except to the degree that being a narcissistic, compulsive
Right.
liar
They're
is
criminally insane.
yeah, they're criminally insane. Whereas, so I started covering this gal mother over at the
Yeah, I was
positive
about
side
to
of
talk to you about
California.
her.
Yeah, she's absolutely bonkers, right? There's no way in hell that she doesn't have multiple diagnoses. And I'm covering it because it strikes all the boxes of the other people that I cover. But at the
Right.
same time, there's this extra element of man, you know what I mean? Like, am I like, am I like picking on a disabled kid in a wheelchair?
But she's so nasty and mean. So you can
Yeah,
be like, there's lots of mentally ill people with severe mental problems who are not hateful, malevolent garbage.
right.
I feel when people are bad people, I feel like maybe not in every situation, but most of the time they have leaned in toward that, if not outright chosen to be bad.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing is this, that there's part of it which is like, let's you should know and understand that you're just not going to get away with this with 100% impunity. If you come on the internet and you say racist, nasty things, if you admit to pedophilia tendencies or whatever, you
Right.
will be, that public statement will be treated as a public statement. It will be signal boosted, and you will be made part of a conversation that you might not feel comfortable with.
Yeah.
And part of that is like, I think that there's potentials for mother to be an absolutely dangerous individual in people's lives. And that goes for a lot of these
She could
targeted
radicalize
individuals.
just one person. They
Yeah,
just
no,
need one
absolutely.
freak to listen to them.
Right. So my attitude about it is if we make YouTube uncomfortable, or if you know and understand that coming onto YouTube doesn't just mean 100 people like you, with 500 people join you, will give you $1 a month on Patreon or $10, whatever the case may be. But in fact, you're not treated with absolute total respect and deference, and your public statements are analyzed and talked about, and you with
Right.
mod, if mother is who she claims to be, an avatar manifestation of cosmic mother, here to do basically like some sort of you know god, goddess, Yahweh, Neo from the Matrix, all combined into one superhero character. If you show up on the scene and that's your claim to fame, if that's what's going on, then you're a public figure, you're God, whatever, we're going to talk about you because you know it has to be. And then maybe the notion is that maybe if they get enough shit or whatever, that they'll say this YouTube thing isn't worth it and they'll go away. I'm not trying to cancel
I've seen
anybody.
it. A lot of them do just get off the internet eventually.
Yeah, because it, and I think that was
remember
good.
Patrick John Coleman? He ended up just getting off the internet.
Not like 80% of my videos that are not like I've got like there's like you can silo my videos. There's a ton of them about Corey Good. There's a lot of them about David Wilcock. There's a few about Stephen Greer. There's a few about this guy Randy Kramer. There's one or two about Donald Marshall. But you know, for the most part, you can silo these things. But for the ones that I've like covered, like one and done, like a lot of them, like I've outlasted more of these. Like some of my videos are absolutely relevant because the subject matter that they were about, the only current videos on YouTube about these individuals will be mine because they didn't, it doesn't work. And I think what it is that people have rock star fantasies. They think this is an easy thing to do. I'm going to come out here. I'm a secret space program, whistleblower, super soldier, contactee, representative of Ashtar Command. And it's like, oh, you are? Okay, well, let's talk about it. And then once they realize, like, oh, first of all, once they're delusions that they're going to turn that being on Project Camelot or friggin', you know, being on Coast to Coast AM is going to mean that their bills are paid for the next 10 years. They're an automatic rock star. Right. They're going to get paid. Once they realize how small this community is and how nothing burger these people turn out to be in the long term, there's no incentive for them to stay in. And then when people are giving them shit, then there's really no point in staying in. There's really no point in staying in.
Especially if their past is being brought up.
And they all have past because these are human beings. I mean, the target individuals sometimes, like, you know, I feel like some of the target individuals, it's like, well, first of all, we can be frank about it. There is zero distinction to be made between between the definitional requirements for being diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia and being a targeted individual, right? And once upon a time, people who were suffering from paranoid schizophrenia, in general, hopefully, God willing, the community, their friends, and their families would be able to identify them, isolate them, work on them, work with them, try to let them figure out that what they were feeling was authentic. They were feeling it, they were experiencing it, but it wasn't reality. And keep them on their meds, try and get them on their meds, trying to get them plugged into professionals, supervise them, watch them, keep them living at home for as long as possible, even though that sometimes would be a nightmare. But now in the day and the age of the internet, where internet access has become so simple that to do a YouTube channel, you just need a phone. These people are not being able to be diverted and you know, treated in isolation as just one particular individual suffering from paranoid delusions, but they get plugged into this world of people that augment this message and tell them, no, you're not crazy. This really is happening. And then you add on to that the dopamine rush of getting subscribers or getting views. Forget about it.
If they get 20 subscribers who leave 5 comments per video, that's more attention than they typically would have gotten in years from people, because when they get to the point where they can start saying they're targeted individuals and whatnot, they're usually so far off the deep end that they've alienated every normal person out of their life already. But there's 2 types of targeted individuals too. There's the ones that really are mentally ill or drug addicts who have induced mental illness. And then there's the people who are just lying about it and trying to take advantage of all of those other crazy people. A lot of people come on and they try to sick these lunatics on whoever they don't like.
No, absolutely. So it's like there's a whole bunch of these people that are just, and that's what's really sad is because unfortunately we saw targeted individuals become like a term du jour, like indigo children was at one point.
Yeah, it's a subculture.
Everyone started talking about targeted individuals, and all of a sudden the targeted individual narrative got put into all these secret space program whistleblowers.
Right. QAnon merged a lot of it in weird ways.
Oh, it's insane. I mean, if that isn't a psyop, I don't know what is, because if that was spontaneous or what,
I think it's Russia.
I don't think that it's not Russia. What I think it is that I think it's social engineering programs. It could be Russia. It could be Russia. North Korea or China either acting in isolation or acting in some sort of loose affiliation. I mean, it's a simple thing. You've got a system that can be intercepted and interfered with, and you can introduce noise into that system, and you could just and then let it do its work. Throw it, the amount of data, the smallness of a tweet, the data required to transmit a tweet or a Facebook post or a thumbs up or create a bot, the simplicity of the system and how easy it is to interfere and mess with, it costs nothing to just potentially just throw out 1,003 BS messages or augment 1,003 BS signals, and it works. I mean, to this day, every week, the majority of people that follow me on Twitter are are uh, are identified as like MAGA accounts,
Really?
or where we go one, we go all, and QAnon accounts. And I'm like, there's no way, with the amount of legitimate people that, using that term loosely, who promote and support QAnon, there's no way that this many people are interested or curious about what other people are saying about QAnon. There's obviously some sort of protocol or program or AI bot,
Right.
simple AI bot that just simply says, if this guy talks about politics, whatever,
Follow.
flood it with QAnon. Let's just,
Yeah.
do it. Who knows?
I
But it definitely is going to have affected. I mean, it infected the New Age community. When I saw the speed with which the pro-Trump message
It's so weird
interjected,
those light workers are
so
into like
weird.
Nazism.
It's so well, we talk about this all the time. Like there's a book called The Occult Roots of Nazism. I mean, so much of the Third Reich, especially the SS, all those guys were like into runes and tarot cards and astrology and all that stuff and all that New Age stuff and spiritualism and table rapping and all that jazz. So it absolutely can go that way easily. But what was interesting to me is that you had a community of people who were like, we are white light, we are for ascension, we are for good karma and positive vibrations and being more service to others than service to self, and all these typical hippy dippy New Age fish concert ideals, whether they were superficial or whether they were truly believed in. But that was the vibe and agenda. And anti-government. These people had so much shit to say about Bush. They had so much shit to say about Obama. They knew and
They showed
understood.
their real principles.
Yeah, the government was out of line, and if it came from the government, it was a lie. And like within like nanoseconds, in the beginning of 2016, so much of these people transferred their allegiance right over to, we're for Donald Trump because he's an outsider, and all these things that were just like these so easily identifiable as socially engineered protocols. Donald Trump is an outsider. Sick and tired of government.
Right.
You need an outsider to shake it up. The deep state, the old guard that have been lying to you, don't want an outsider like Donald Trump. He's a no nonsense guy. He says his mind. It's good that he speaks his mind. It was crazy town.
I think that a lot of that anti-war love and light stuff was really just camouflage for a lot of these people. And like when people do go into this grifting thing, as you mentioned, all of them have past, but a lot of these people in particular have criminal past or their reputations are in disrepair. And so they have to have some kind of reinvention story. So they realize they're star seeds or light workers or whatever from another dimension. But I think that a lot of it was just them being full of crap to begin with, pretending to be a nice person. They think this is what a really nice person would act and sound like. But if they were really nice, then they would have known Donald Trump was a piece of garbage long before he even ran for president. Hey, Aldo, come here.
Well, it's absolutely nuts, the notion that they were able to sell this guy as a man of the people, considering the amount of absolutely racist, bigoted things that he said. Hey, how you doing, buddy? What's his name? Aldo?
Yeah, he says, meow, meow. It's short for Yaldibioth, right? He's a demon cat. Not really. He's an angel cat, actually. He never causes trouble.
Good. So look, I mean, what was I like? No, I mean, it's absolutely true. Like, there's a reason why people get involved in this, and this is an easily identifiable community of people who are overly credulous. who will believe outlandish stories without a shred of evidence. If you are a narcissistic abuser, you are self-aggrandizing narcissistic abuser, you are going to, if you discover this community of people, you are going to hone in on this community and work it for all it's worth.
Right.
There's no reason not to. You're not going to be questioned. You're going to be potentially deified.
Yeah,
It's
the more
insane.
nasty you are, the better of a chance you might have.
And that's the other thing that staggers and beggars belief. Because if you look at this guy Corey Good that sued me, that's this frivolous lawsuit that's already cost me $15,000 in attorney's fees.
His
He is
life
claiming
seems to be going well, though, doesn't it?
oh well, he's fucked. I mean, he is now officially, he sued this genius. Gaia had a reputation for being litigious before he ever showed up on the scene. They were infamous. They would for suing you out the wazoo if you went askance even slightly against a non-disclosure agreement, or they had some sort of exclusive licensing agreement with you and you uploaded something onto YouTube. These guys were just heavy, and they're a multi-million-dollar corporation. The
Right.
notion that this guy thought that it was, you do not sue someone with a bigger pocketbook than you,
Wait,
because
he sued Gaia?
he sued Gaia. He sued Gaia, and then they
What a
brought the counter
clown.
suit against them. Now, Michael, so this we can get to
He
Unirock.
he is really too big for his britches. Does he
No,
just think he can smack down anyone?
Michael, we had a motion to dismiss for lack of jurisdiction, and his responsive papers included statements that they could prove that I had framed him based on the research of Unirock.
Oh boy, they should really bring him into court. I would love to see him
Oh,
testify.
he's going to be deposed, I believe. I mean,
Remember, me, you, and Greg were all secretly working with. Wait, were we working against? I don't remember the whole story.
so here's the whole. Oh my God, there's so much story here. It's ridiculous.
I know,
Anyway,
right?
let me just like outline it. Okay, so I'm talking about Corey Good. Corey Good's talking about me. All of a sudden, Corey Good sues. He sues me, Cliff High, this girl named Ari Stone. Let's leave her on the side again. Jay Widener, and he sues Gaia. And he sues us in Colorado because, well, first of all, because that's, Colorado allows out-of-state attorneys to practice there. So the only attorney that he can get is this gal from Texas. So they sued in Colorado. I have no connections to Colorado. This is like jurisdiction 101. I've never been to Colorado. I don't know anyone in Colorado. I have no business
Right.
association in Colorado. Anyway, so whatever. So, oh my God, I don't even know where to go. So anyway, then they're alleging, because remember, me and Unirock had worked on a video back in the day where we had proved by just doing real-time analysis of Twitter accounts and Twitter activity that a random Twitter account had doxed Joe from the Carolinas, and then out of nowhere, Jordan Sather and Corey Goods Twitter accounts with over 20,000, however many thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of subscribers, picked up on this random tweet and retweeted it. So me and Unirock were both boom, the docs of Joe from the Carolinas was spread by Jordan Sather and Corey Good on day one. And day one was the day of a general election, not the general, it was the election of the Congress and Senate. So it was Jordan Sather with thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of subscribers on an election day found this random tweet. And even if you found it, what's his justification for spreading the docs of another individual who just slightly criticized these individuals?
And
So
he was Corey Good's gimp at the time, right?
Right, now check this out. So then I get contacted by an individual who's got screenshots showing that there was an insider Facebook group that were obviously responsible for the docs of Joe from the Carolinas and the production of this anti-Gaia, anti-Cliff High, anti-Jay Widener, all this anti-me materials. And you can see there's a voicemail from one of the leaders of the Facebook group saying, basically, if I remember correctly, yada yada yada, this guy, insert name here, is aware of what we're doing and is behind us 100%. So I went forward with those screenshots and that voice comment, and I covered it. And I gave the materials to Unirock because I thought that this information needed to be signal boosted. He covered it the next day and took
Yeah, I
total, like
remember.
basically total credit for it, and then said I was being a diva bitch because I had asked him to whatever. So then
And
me and him are no longer friends. Okay. This is a
he
year
has that
after
problem with most people.
it's if it happens once, if it happens, it's bad luck. If it happens twice, watch out. If it happens three times, it's your fault, bitch. You are guilty of the things that people accuse you of, namely stealing people's research and taking credit for it, and also being a general douchebag. Anyway, so this is a year after Doxgate, and another guy, Ryan Gable, goes to Contact in the Desert 2019, interviews Emery Smith, and confronts Jordan Sather. Emery Smith is another one of these whistleblower guys who worked at Gaia, says, yes, these guys were behind the doxing campaign. These guys doxed me as well. So we've got more proof or more people saying support for Doxgate than saying against it. And Ryan Gable confronts Jordan Sather. Anywho, right then and there, all of a sudden, Unirock, who was pissed off at me at this point, goes on for 6 days, making his multiple 4 or 5 hour broadcasts or whatever, saying alternatively, I'm the one, or saying that I falsely accused Corey Good because my evidence didn't support the conclusion, that I made it up, that I doxed Joe from the Carolinas. Even if Corey Good and Jordan had doxed Joe from the Carolinas, it wasn't
That's
really
just
doxing.
malicious lying.
Oh,
Like
he's
he
just
knows
an
it's not true.
Oh, he's just stupid, is what he is. He figured out OBS.
I remember, yeah, and it doesn't look that great. I remember when he had some. What was the Twitter equivalent where they let people upload videos? It's gone now. They just shut it down. It starts with a P or
Periscope?
something. Yeah, Periscope. Yeah, he had this crazy Periscope video where I swear he almost seemed like he was tweaking out. And he was talking about how me, you, and Greg were all in this secret group. But I thought that he was saying that we worked for Corey Good secretly.
I watched all of these videos for 6 days. He made 4 or 5 hour videos. And like I said, saying everything and its opposite, and acting like I'm making perfect sense here. Follow the bouncing ball. CW
I
Chanter.
remember the debates.
Yeah, those videos are going back up as soon as this nonsense with this lawsuit is gone. These archive videos are going, wherever they need to go. But
Unirock really needs to get as well known as he would like to be. Not in the way he wants to be, though.
Yeah. No, anyways, the whole thing is ridiculous. So anyway, the whole thing's ridiculous. But anyway, anywho, cut to the last scene of the thing. Genius, Corey Good, sues Gaia, multi-million-dollar national corporation. In addition, he had sued me and several other people. And in regards to me, had alleged, not in the main complaint, elsewhere, because he's a genius and his legal team can't be beat, says that one of the allegations is that I framed him for this crime of doxing or whatever. The counterclaim brought by Gaia basically says they are alleging, no, he did it, as well as alleging that he did several other of these conspiratorial things.
So he brought, for no reason at all, millionaires to your side?
Check this out. The attorneys that are representing Gaia, their specialty is cybercrime and cyber stalking allegations. Okay. Mm-hmm. So the notion that they brought this counterclaim and put it forward without having the evidentiary support to back it up is unbelievable. It did not happen. So they're alleging what people knew because they saw the screenshots. The screenshots speak for themselves.
Are they saying you doctored the screenshots?
Oh, that whole thing that he's got proof that Kelly put it together with Picasso or whatever. It's nonsense. None
you can just look at Unirock and know, like, that's a person with no credibility so any claims he make are not credible.
Yeah, no, he made ridiculous. I mean, he just that's all he does is that all he knows and understands one very simple thing. Content, long duration content equals X amount of views, equals X amount of donations equals X amount of time. He can have subscriber turnover. He can have people be alienated from him. He can have people finally catch on to his bullshit. He's going to go on. His full-time job is to go on to YouTube, DLive, Mixer, wherever, and make 4 or 5 hours of content a day. That's it.
Is he still doing it?
I have no idea.
Because I was gonna say I haven't heard about him since Todd started talking again. That's the first time I thought of that guy in a while.
No, apparently, so there was a big big atheist anti-flat Earth podcast called the Non Sequitur Podcast, and he got involved.
Yeah, I was on there.
He got involved in some sort of debate between Steve McRae and his ex-business partner. And he did the same thing that he did when he got involved with this community. He picked the side. He picked the wrong side. He picked a different side. The side turns on him and says, Unirock, in retrospect, you have no idea what you're talking about. You really kind of gummed up the works on this. You say something negative about him, all of a sudden he's like, oh, okay, I didn't want to make this video. Busy, shut up. Oh, man. Hold on, wait, let me do it. Let me do it full time. Let's just do it. Hold on.
Him and his wife have never been seen on screen at the same time. So there's a rumor flying around that they're the same person.
This whole thing. CW says I look exactly like Unirage. Okay. Well, here's a photo of Unirage from her high school prom that totally shows she's banging. Okay. Anywho, I didn't want to make this video. This video is horrible for my views. My community are going to say, Unirock, we don't give a shit about these people, but I got to do it. Someone's running their mouth on the internet again, saying, I don't know what I'm talking about. Oh, yeah? I don't know what I'm talking about? That's right. I'm talking about Michael Omni-Eris and CW Chanter. Oh, yeah. They don't want to let you know. They're actually brothers. They've been working from the start. Does their community?
You weren't supposed to tell people, Ben.
Does the community know? Do they disclose that they're brothers and gay lovers who live in the same group house with Reemsy? Oh no, they don't say, well, I'm going to present you with proof. Look at this screenshot. It's right there for you if you want to see. Michael Omni-Eris has white walls. CW Chanter has a wooden stained door. Those are the sort of things you see in houses of the same type all the time. You never see these guys together, only on broadcasts where they visit each other, where they're virtually there. You got to pay attention, people. That's why we make these videos. Oh my God, it was staring me in the face the entire time. Fucking douchebag deluxe.
That's a pretty good impression.
It's a great impression because that's what happens when you're a fucking living, walking, breathing fucking joke. It's very easy to nail your personality when your personality is so fucking one-dimensional. And then he's gonna say, that he's gonna say whatever he wants to say. Fuck him. Fuck him.
I remember when I first ran afoul of him. He had invited a call for an uprising on his show, and they were being buddy, and this guy is trying to get gay teenagers to kill themselves. He is a straight up Nazi homophobe. And Unirock's just like, we might have different views, but we could still be friends. And so Reemsy said something to him about it. And then he started attacking Reemsy. So I said something. And then he's making videos saying I have AIDS. It's like, dude, you can't just do that.
He's a shitburger. He made all these sort of allegations. He cut up. I don't know if you remember. There's a psychopath like this. I apologize. There was a mentally insane woman who was obsessed with my channel. Susan. So Susan would play.
She thought outer space isn't real, right?
Oh, that one. Hold on, wait. Let's see what's going on here.
Benji just farted. Did you guys hear that? I'm going to go grab a water. Oh, no, wait. He's coming back.
Well, don't, because we have dead air. So someone got a pizza delivered to my place.
Oh, okay. Well, you go get your pizza. I'll entertain people.
Please do. But we got to see, because if it's not, we're either getting swatted, or we're what
See,
you call it?
I wish my sound effects were working because I have the FBI open up sound effect. Would have been
Oh, man.
perfect.
Okay, hold on, I'll be right back.
All right. So what should I talk about while Benji's away? He probably doesn't want me to call him that. I shouldn't call him that. I don't know. I'll go in the chat. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Hi, chat. How's it going? Reemsy and Rob Gother and Christina and Maggie and Robin. Yeah, how's it going, y'all? Yeah, I don't think Unirach is a real person, V. I think Unirach is just Unirock with some kind of filter on, and he pre-records all of their stuff. He's really smart. It's all pre-recorded. He set the whole thing up. But how's it going, y'all? Boy, I really don't know what to just talk about. I could talk like Bernie Sanders, like this. Benji is wrong about me 99.9% of the time. He's never correct, and he never has been, except 0.1% of the time. Also, don't vote for me. I didn't even vote for me. All right, I can't. It's a bit of a strain. I can talk like Mickey. Ha ha. Hey, Goofy. Will you fuck me in the ass? Ha ha. Oh yeah, Goofy, lick me. Lick my mouse balls. Ha ha. How else can I shit this up? Boy, I wish that voice mod was working. I would do a little play, a Kevin Christian play. But I'm afraid if I open it, the whole thing will mess up again like it did last time. What do you guys think CW gets on his pizza? Anchovies? Probably. I bet he gets mushrooms on that. That's disgusting. So we got anchovies and mushrooms. I don't think CW's frisky enough to get bacon on there. So probably not bacon. Oh, come on, come back. What are you, blowing the delivery guy? What's taking so long? See, you don't like dead air, so I don't know what to do. I really want to try to get voice mod working. I'm going to give it a shot. Fuck it. We're going to try voice mod. It better work this time, too.
Now, I love people, and I love the fact that people got me pizza, but you know this is like a big broadcast. Like, why would you? This is a hangry reference. When these gals think that I'm being hangry, they order a pizza, get the pizza delivered. So I'm
what
like,
kind of pizza?
Let's find out.
Is it anchovies and mushrooms? Because that's what I predicted.
Like Cobra, was it Cobra JFS? You know that guy? Yeah.
He makes boxes, right? Not boxes. He makes like staffs or something.
Wands, yeah.
Wands.
People always deliver them the pizza.
Dude, Cobra JFS is like, sometimes when you're looking for the weird underbelly of YouTube, like you'll find out certain people are connected. And I found this guy who has these creepy blow-up dolls that he puts them on the stream, and then he like channels them and talks to them and with his own voice, but it's like, hey, how's it going, Amber? I'm doing great tonight. How are you, Rich? Oh, good. I'm good, Amber. We're going to get wild tonight. Yeah, Rich, let's get wild. And it's like a blow-up doll. Well, I saw in the chat, Cobra JFC or whatever is friends with this guy. And I was like, well, small world.
Small world.
I bet Cobra has some blow-up dolls.
Someone's got a fetish. Here's Ramsey. Here's Greg. Pizza before it becomes chilled. You just want to see me eat. That's his thing, right? There you go. Have some more. There you go. Anyway, where fucking Unirock, blah, whatever. So that was like 90% of the reason that I started tweaking out when Todd started going left to center.
I need to get a water.
Oh, go for it. No, payback's a bitch. Go for it. Go get the water. Now it's my turn to fill up the to fill up the air. Thank you to Jasmine and Vanessa for sending me the pizza. I swear, I mean, when this sort of thing was going on and we just talked smack about Unirock, I had no idea if I was going to get out there, get the pizza, and get capped. But we're good. We're good.
Hey, since you mentioned Todd and Unirock, before we move on and I forget, one of the dumbest, this is when I kept giving Todd a chance, even though he was obnoxious. And then this happened. This was around the same time as all this stuff was happening with Unirock that you were just talking about. Todd actually, because I was saying, like, Unirock is an idiot. Like, I know that I'm not in part of a conspiracy involving Corey Good. And Positive Momentum, Todd, he was talking about me and you and Reemsy, and he sent a tweet to me. He goes, well, maybe you should consider his point of view. You don't know. It's like, yes, I do.
Yeah, you do.
How would I not know if I'm involved in a conspiracy? But that was when I'd had enough. I'd had enough of him after that.
Well, the reason I started getting nervous was because he was like, it's like you ever been at like a party or something and like you've done too many illegal drugs and then you have the one friend who starts freaking out and be like, I'm just going to talk to the cops. I'm just going to, they're looking at me. I'm just going to be cool. And you're like, no, you're fucking not talking to them. No. Everybody, somebody babysit Jeremiah because I got to go in the bathroom and barf. Hold on. You know what I mean? And it's and that was the thing because he started acting like he was going to say this, that, or the other thing. And I'm like, the minute you do that, that bullshit's going to get clipped, and people are going to say, "See, Positive Momentum, CW Chanter Insider spilling the intel and proof." When Unirock did his thing, all of a sudden saying all this shit, that gave Corey Good ammunition, where he then all of a sudden cut up the video that Unirock had made. So Unirock essentially made content for Corey Good. That was the good thing. And then, but the best was when you have to know this. Here's the bottom line. I keep on saying that for no fucking reason.
You used to say horse names a lot.
Yeah, whatever. So he goes, the evidentiary support being relied upon by Team Corey Good that I framed Corey is the speculative fiction of Unirock. We have yet to see what the evidentiary support is for the contrary allegation brought against Corey Good by Gaia, by their attorneys that are experts in cybercrime. I'm going to guess that their experts are more reliable and have more definitive actual proof than Unirock. In other words, you don't want to bring a Unirock to $1 million lawyer fight.
That's good, CW. Did you think of that?
Off the dome, I swear to Jesus. I mean, it had its roots. Like, I definitely been playing with these themes, but that particular articulation, that was in the moment, unrehearsed. That's how it works. That's the other thing, is that guys like you and me, they don't realize we just talk. These people have to spend time coming up with their bullshit. And it's like, do you know and understand that it took you hours to try and concoct the science fiction story out of leftover Flash Gordon fartbacks and, reused, Star Trek conventions? And meanwhile, all it takes to deconstruct you is to turn on a webcam and say, let's watch this video and talk about how ridiculous it is. And every sentence, just hit pause and say, here's why this is obviously not true.
Right.
Here's why this is obviously not true. Do you really think the Palladians would pick this individual in a double wide trailer in Pahrump to be their sole communicator?
You were saying with Mother, like this lady, to think that God is like, oh yeah, this is the one, right? You know what? She's even better than me, everyone. Like, wouldn't he pick someone extremely intelligent, extremely beautiful, if he's going to pick one human being? I mean, it's not going to be this freakish old nasty lady who lays in bed all day running her mouth on the internet. That doesn't make any sense. And also the idea that God is an alien or something.
Or even several steps lower than God, the notion that the blue avians traveled here intergalactically and picked as their universal ambassador an unlikable douchebag of a person, right? A real piece of shit. Like that, that's their universal sign of intelligence. And he would say things like, they came here and they specifically said that they wouldn't communicate through any channelers. They would only communicate through me. I'm like, that's fucking convenient. And also,
it's really weird that anyone buys that.
That's what's so insane. But it's a reminder. Listen, the world is full of dumbasses. And how many true believers does a guy need to live like a king? Think about it, really.
Probably not that many, actually.
Not that many. Imagine if you had like 10 or 15 people who were true believers in your shtick. Like pimps. Look at pimps. 7 or 8
It hasn't
girls.
worked for Unicole, though. Unicron, it never worked out for her.
I don't know what's wrong with her. I don't know why it didn't work for her. But you know what I think is? I think that she, like, it was too. She exists in a world where there's so many like unironic, we're a spaceship cult rock band type thing
Mm-hmm.
that you. I think part of the reason she doesn't get traction is because people can't tell if it's a shtick or an act, or if they're really supposed to believe in what she's teaching or preaching. Which
That's the line she intentionally rides too, which is blowing up in her face. You usually got to pick one or the other if you want to go somewhere.
You know what I think? I mean, the only thing that I think is really blowing up in her face is the ravages of time, which will come from. Well, because I think a large percent of the appeal is that she is to some people an attractive young lady, or certainly was at some point in her career trajectory. But we all age. I mean, it is what it is. But there was a coterie of girls that were around her that were all doing the. I'm a 22-year-old.
All three of them were friends.
I
remember three of them. There was Unicole. Right. There was Krista Raisa. She's a star seed, and her husband's Arcturus Ra. And then there was Christina Marie, and she just comes and goes every couple of years.
Right.
But they were all friends.
Okay, I remember they were tight. I remember they were friends.
They were the goddesses, according to them.
Oh yeah, yes, absolutely. That was like a new age predecessor to the Squad.
Right. Well, see, absolutely. I don't think their shtick has aged well either, because this is not like Generation Z. If they want to be weird and eccentric, they're not going to get into the stuff that Unicole is into. That's what she got into, like, at their age, but it's not going to carry over. She's very much a millennial, and if she has any appeal, it's only to millennials, and very, like, maybe 0.00001% of them.
So I think, like, the general straight new age scene that a lot of these girls like pulled from, or a lot of these guys and gals like Arcturus Ra pulled from, the Ashtar commands, the Palladians, the crystals and chakras and all this stuff. Like, that school of thought, that centralized new age kind of set, standard practices, if you want, is kind of aging out. I mean, I think that will appeal to a lot of these younger generation of people. I think they don't realize that a lot of them it was baby boomers who were excited the fact that there was, new people kind of taking up the mantle. And I think, no offense, baby boomers come in all sorts of sizes and shapes, including dudes. So I think there were a whole bunch of baby boomer dudes who looked at these girls and were like, all right, I'll balance your chakras. You know what I mean? I could teach you a lot about Tantra. I took a workshop. You know what I mean? I'll get out the essential oils from Bath and Body Works and we'll go to town. Who knows? I mean, but who knows? But, like, at the end of the day, I think you're right.
At one point, sorry,
stuff is aging poorly. No, I'm sorry. We're actually.
Well, you make a good point. It could be that the older generation. I mean, yeah, because at one point she was selling pornography of herself, but it was all recorded on VHS, and she was selling it in 2015. It's like, who has a VHS in 2015? Except, maybe some boomers probably still have their VHSs laying around. But so yeah, maybe that's it. Oh, and she also had a picture of her on Facebook choking on a big rubber dildo, like choking it down her throat on her public Facebook. So it's just weird the things people will do for attention, even when they're not getting paid for it.
Was that Unicole?
Yep.
Well, hadn't she made kind of a new age blue movie?
A new age what?
Like a porno.
I think she's made pornos and she sold them on VHS. I don't know if she still makes porno, but she was for a while.
But see, here's the thing. Like, is there a possibility that all of Unicole is really, kind of an act, kind of a shtick, and like, cause like making the porno on VHS, like that, like, it's like, so like, yes, it could have happened accidentally. She had a VHS video camera, or maybe
I think she did it to be quirky.
That's what I'm saying, but that's kind of like a nuanced quirk, like to use a vintage medium like VHS, which is like itself back to the golden age of pornography, right?
Well, here's her inner conflict: is that she wants us to know it's an act, but she doesn't want it to be an act. So she's got this weird constant why can't I not think of that term when you have conflicting it'll come to me in 5 minutes. But cognitive dissonance. So she doesn't want people to think she's stupid for doing it. She's basically trying to control both sides of the narrative. And I don't think she's really smart enough to do that. But she, it is an act, but it's also not an act because she really desperately wants the attention and to be a superstar. So.
No, I know. And there's that whole kind of like uncomfortable, like, fake it till you make it visualization. I am the superstar.
Right.
My residence.
The secret.
It'll eventually, like, my if I be the rock star, if I be the superstar, then eventually the universe will come into, unified concordance with my agenda and dreams.
That's some Teal Swan bull crap.
Well, all this stuff is none of this stuff is invented by these guys. They all read the same books that we read, right?
I don't read those books.
You absorb it third hand. You absorb it through osmosis. That's right.
I pull it out of the atmosphere.
You know what I mean?
Inhale it through my anus. So
that's it. Well, that's the best way to get it, right to the root chakra.
Well, that comes out of most people's anuses too. So
there you go. That's it. You know what I mean? Like, anyway. So all these crazy, and there's so many people that we've known over the years, so many people we've talked about and discussed. And Bug says this, like, I haven't watched Uni in years. How is the? Oh, I can't tell if he's talking about Unicorn or Uni Rock. But all these people, like, every year more and more people come onto YouTube, come onto Twitter, come onto social media, Facebook video, whatever the case may be. It's like eventually we're going to lose control of the population. And I don't think also a lot of these people understand like how like the demographics work and how competition in the marketplace works, because a lot of people are recycling the same stories and agendas. And it's like whatever you got hits with in 2013 is not going to work in 2021.
But see, like to have this drive to be a social media star or to make money off of it, there's always some element of narcissism which would drive someone to want that kind of validation. And a lot of times, actually, most of these people who do this are narcissists, but they're not smart. But they think they're the smartest people in the room or the most likable. So they don't care if they copy someone's content because they think everyone's going to love them so much that their take on it is going to be the one that everyone wants to hear. And that's why so many of these podcasts, like, I'm not going to name them all, but they just all recycled literally the same material, just like a human centipede of crap just swirling around.
The podcast dream is the YouTube channel success story of 2020. Everyone's going to do a podcast. It's a podcast. It's a podcast. Why is it a fucking podcast? It's a YouTube stream. It's this stream. And so many people are doing what I love is when I see the people that have like had like a podcast or a YouTube live stream channel that's been going on for like 2 or 3 years that have like kicked their asses. They've got the chyrons, they've got the background, they're paying for shit. They got like professional, like the highest grade cameras and stuff, and they've got like 30 subscribers because they, look, it's at the end of the day, just because Joe Rogan talking is fascinating to people when he talks to like actual like stand-up comedians who like are entertaining for a living, doesn't mean that you and like Bocephus or whatever are going to be charming the pants out of everybody with your like.
Well, they all think they're interesting.
WrestleMania 12. Everyone thinks they're interesting. Everyone thinks,
and everyone's not.
Everyone thinks they're interesting. Everybody wants to get paid for doing nothing, right? Nobody wants to labor at something they don't want to do. They all want to like live the dream and follow their bliss and have it pay off. You're right. And they all think that they're fascinating and they're somehow guaranteed success. This is like, I remember back in the day, I used to play in bands. And all the time, people would be talking about like things like when we do this, when we do this, when we do this. Hadn't made a note of music, but we're already like drawing up future life plans based on, a hypothetical T-shirt design that no one could afford to print.
That's Todd. Yeah. That's literally every idea that rolls through his head. He's going to become a billionaire off of it.
Oh, absolutely. Well, look, like I said, Todd's a special case because Todd, I don't think, is thinking correctly.
Oh, he's not.
Like in a way that's like not like this person doesn't get it and they're not thinking correctly, but like this person is not thinking correctly.
His brain chemistry is, I don't know that his brain chemistry can ever returned and like he's probably blown all of the serotonin out that he's ever gonna manufacture. It's all gone. But you were mentioning the microphones and stuff. How people buy these microphones and all of this nice equipment. Well, since we're talking about Todd, since I brought it up randomly, completely unsolicited, Todd has this really nice microphone setup, and he always goes to this like big show of setting it up and plugging it in, and then he never turns the microphone setting on, and he's just singing, and he thinks he's singing into the microphone, but it's always just being picked up by his webcam microphone, and he's been doing this for months and hasn't caught on that the microphone isn't plugged in. It's amazing to me. Sorry, I'm very petty and I hate Todd.
It's okay.
I know you secretly hate Todd too.
I don't hate Todd. I'm frustrated by Todd, and I think that it's unfortunate what's happening with Todd. I really do. Listen, I'm not trying to be.
Can he enter the land beyond the redemption for you?
You know what? Hold on, wait. He did, and I forgot. I keep on forgetting this. The things that he said about victims of child abuse was
yeah, the Dylan Farrow stuff.
No, he sucks. When he said that, I mean, like that's the thing. Like, but at the same time, like, here's the thing. Like, when a paranoid schizophrenic gives a birthday card to his mother, his Jewish mother, that's covered in swastikas, that's signed "Yours in Hate," the abortion you should have had, welcome to my world of murder and insanity, right? Like, it's disturbing, and
that's a really weird. Is that something that happened? I mean, did you come up with that?
I saw that in a documentary film. There's a documentary film.
Oh, okay. So
paranoid schizophrenic, and so, but the point is this: is that like when I
was going to say you have a sick mind, CW.
But if Todd demonstrates thinking that is of a sick mind, I thought that was like some bullshit, like some crazy, nasty stuff to say. But I also have to allow for the fact that he's not thinking correctly, that he's got like a mental health. Clearly has a mental health disorder. But at the same time,
development.
I don't know what it is. But when he said that was unforgivable. Like I'll never hang with him again. Like, because he said those things about victims of child abuse, I'll never I'll have love for him in my heart, but I'll never have him on a stream or anything. You know what I mean? And that's like why I don't.
It's not just that he attacks
to your channel, or that I thumbs up your videos or leave comments that are good about the videos. Once he said that, once he let me know, even if that exists in your heart, it is what it is.
You know, it's not just the victims that he attacks. He also defends the perpetrators. He goes out of his way to defend perpetrators of crimes that don't even know he exists. Like, he has no stake in this, and he's coming out defending Harvey Weinstein and Woody Allen for what? And attacking their victims for what? For a hallucinated attempt that they might use to help his career. He's so delusional. He thinks Harvey Weinstein, who is behind jail right now, can somehow help his career if Todd says nasty things about the women he attacked on the internet. Like, that's how nasty he is. He's just showing us he's nasty for no reason.
I don't know what the thought process is, but we know. Well, look, he absolutely is. He's absolutely, the notion that he's there's delusional with a little d, and there's delusional with a big D. He's absolutely delusional. He's absolutely delusional, which raises.
He's in a parallel reality.
Yes, he's mentally insane. Todd Michael Schultz is got a mental health issue. He's got multiple compound diagnoses. I'm not a medical health professional, but you don't need to have one to know that this guy is got real problems.
It's not just that he's mentally ill, though. Like, he is a hardcore drug abuser. Just this morning, he admitted that he's on Adderall.
Right.
No, he said don't allege it. He said, I'm on Adderall right now. And he said, why do you guys have a problem with drug addicts? Yeah, and how did he get Adderall? He was just on Vyvanse last month. That's what he told us he was prescribed to. And then he said he was on cocaine a few nights ago. And it's like, dude, your problem is that you are on drugs. I mean, maybe he could get a grip on this mental health stuff
Todd
if he would
Michael,
stop.
right? Todd Michael
Sorry.
Schultz. No, it's okay. It's no problem. Todd Michael Schultz had disappeared for months. 4 months.
I thought years.
Well, months. It had to have been 9, 10 months. I mean, it was that long. I mean, it was a long time where he just wasn't active on social media. He wasn't talking to anybody. He wasn't uploading videos to Positive Momentum. He had essentially left. And it was whatever. Then all of a sudden, I get these like tweet screens DMs from him. You got to check out what's going on between me and Teresa Llaneros. Blah, blah, blah. Am I out of line? Is she out of line? I really think this. You got to weigh in on the subject. And he like said all these things because all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he had started tweeting to Teresa Llaneros, who herself hadn't been active on social media for months and months and months. And she basically responded to him by saying, like, what is this? Where is this coming from? I have no idea what's going on. And he was like, you know exactly what's going on. You were involved with Corey Good on this and that and the other thing. And then he sends to me this, CW, are you going to get involved in this conversation? And I tweeted him, I DM'd him back, and I was like, brother, her sister is the attorney who filed the lawsuit against me. I can't get involved with a dispute between Teresa and you. Please understand.
You should do it for him anyway, though. Don't you owe it to him to ruin your professional credibility to help him in an online dispute?
But all that ended up happening was that was the first indication. That happened on day one. And by day two, he was back on YouTube making these crazy videos where he was blowing out online. That's when I called him. That's when I know you. It was you were, and he had no reason to mention you.
No, he just must have thought of me for. Yeah, I don't I was mentioned literally the next video after Teresa Llaneros, and it's like, dude, I haven't said your name in years.
And I said to him, the minute I saw him do that, I was like, you have lost it. And I'll tell you why you've lost it. You've lost all rational thinking because it's very similar to Corey Good suing Gaia. It's an action that indicates that you're not thinking about the consequences of your action. Because you have a reputation, Michael. If I want to
he wanted me to come after him.
I know. If I want to get into a war with somebody, I'm going to pick Omni. That's easy. Oh, man, well, that's really boring and my content sucks. Let me do this. Oh, I see that Michael Omni-Eris is making new videos again. Ho hum. Give it up, you basic bitch. Face it. Nobody cares. You're an old man now. Exclamation point at Tyler DeFox. You know, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then, you have just started war, right?
Dude, he said my name 3 times before I finally showed up. I was like, dude, okay, I'm going to give you a Candyman treatment, bitch, because I let you do it twice. The third time, screw you. Like, but he was so obviously, I think even the last, there was, CW.
Let me do everything in my power to make sure to figure out what's going on with the bandwidth here.
Having trouble connecting.
Oh no. Well, you were glitching out for a second. What can I do? I'm plugged in to the Wi-Fi. We'll figure it out. I mean, we can hear you and see you to a great. Uh-oh. Well, we'll figure it out. I was hoping the conversation wouldn't turn to Todd, but I knew that it was going to. But it is what it is. So while we wait for Michael to come back and figure out what's going on with the internet connection, my eyes are on the live chat. So if you have any commentary to make, any discussion points or anything you want to bring up or figure out. Oh, okay, we'll figure it out. It'll happen. We'll get back. Feel free to let me know now because my eyes are on the live chat. Are you enjoying the conversation? Is the conversation doing anything for you? Do you hate the conversation? Does the conversation suck? We have 75 people watching live now, which I don't know what's going on. Like, Bee Gees, what's the magic word? Cindy Armstrong, love it all. We got Sid Vish. We got Elaine Ebony with us. I will comment, no comment. That helps. Thank you, Pride Magic. Oh, okay, here we go. Who's backstage? Da 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 da.
Sorry, I had to plug in my LAN cable because the Wi-Fi was being crappy.
It happens.
I don't remember what I was saying, but it was something about Todd being horrible. But yeah.
As it's wont to be. Reamsey's really trying to get me to eat this pizza. Says Reamsey says, golly, CW Chanter, if you do eat that pizza, heat it up because microbes might be on it by now from sitting there.
You can eat pizza that's been out for a day.
Yeah, exactly. No, but that's like some next level. Like, who is that guy from The Aviator? Like,
Reamsey plays with mercury, so I think he should calm down on the health suggestions.
He just wants to get me to eat pizza. He's got a thing. He just wants to see me eat. That's it. Put it in your mouth.
I will.
That's what she said. Anyway, Todd, I was like, what are you gonna do? Like, so look, the guy's not right. You know what I mean? The boy ain't right.
I don't know that he ever. This is what I'm just wondering. He's attacked his whole family now. They're his only support system if Brett does say get the hell out. So, he really is flirting with homelessness. And I don't know why he is so sure that he can avoid it, that he's just like flipping the coin on it.
Because he's suffering from manic delusions. The kid's got mental health issues.
Don't call him a kid. He's not a kid. He calls himself a kid. And it's like he's a full-grown man.
I get it. Well, he's younger than me. I assume. I think he's younger than me.
He's 34, I think.
He's like 11 years younger than me. Guy that's 11 years younger than me is a kid.
I still think he should be considered a full-grown man who's fully responsible for his behaviors.
But he's a full-grown man. But can we hold him fully responsible? That's the question.
Yes.
And this is self-reflection too. Because I guess they can. Well, I mean, you have to because otherwise.
Yeah. What are you going to do? And also, how do you think he got to this point? Because nobody has held him accountable for his behaviors.
Well, that's exactly, and that's the thing that where the whole thing flips back on Brett, where we say, "Excuse me, if is this love that you do nothing,
right?
That you allow this person to self-immolate on the internet?" And at a certain point, there's questions where you can be like, "Is what he's doing good or what he's doing bad?" Like, I make controversial content, so people who love me might say, Ben makes controversial content. It's not good for his profession. It's not good for his reputation. He needs to get a haircut. He needs to trim the beard. He needs to put on a suit and give this 9-to-5 job 110%, whatever the case may be. But there's going to be debates about that. People say he's a free spirit and yada, yada. But there's a certain point where the person is not doing things on the internet, which is just like risque comedy.
Yeah, it's not just being himself.
It's not just being himself and letting it all hang out or not being, scared of being real or whatever. At a certain point, it's self-immolation on the internet, and you have to say either a person is pathological themselves or they notice it. Now, here's the thing about Bret Easton Ellis. This is just speculation about a person in the public eye and a professional. He might be a sicko.
He wrote American Psycho.
He wrote American Psycho, and then he wrote that other one about the teenage. He wrote Less Than Zero. That's got a lot of this darkness in it. And he also wrote, what's the one?
I don't know. I only know American Psycho.
With, Shalom, what's her face? Oh man,
I don't know.
Christ, hold on. I gotta know.
At some point he would have to become culpable. Either he's completely irresponsible himself, neither of them are responsible, or at some point he's letting it happen and not doing anything about it.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. The rules of attraction. That was the one. Anywho. So because at a certain point it's like, how do you let this happen?
Oh, using his own Twitter account. Like, Todd is logging into his Twitter and attacking Stephen King and like various other people. Stephen King somebody might have told him, he's like, who the fuck did Bret Easton Ellis think he is? That's not somebody that you want thinking negatively of you. If you're, he might not give a shit, but maybe he should. I would give a shit about that if Todd was just wreaking havoc on my reputation.
Well, how about this? Here's Stephen Ronan with just some random speculation. I was thinking that this whole scenario with Todd and his YouTube frenemies would make a great new book for Brett. What do you think? Even a movie?
I
So,
will sue him so fast if he
no, no.
steals my likeness.
Well, he doesn't have to steal your likeness, but what's the over under on Bret Easton Ellis, who wasn't even willing to come out as gay as like late as 2000 and I forget what it was, like 2010. He was still playing games with
Really?
coming out. Yeah, like what is the over under? Because all of his character, like all of his books, as they go through the generations, right? The Less Than Zero takes place in the 80s. American Psycho takes place in the 90s. And it kind of moves forward through time. Like, what do you think it is that this guy just like identifies people on fire and hangs out near the flames, taking notes on the beautiful shadows on the wall? I mean,
But
that's pure speculation, but it's fascinating to think about.
I think that there's a good possibility that that is a part of what he does, and probably what a lot of creative people do, actually. Not to find crazy people on fire, but when you see something really like you just observed, not that he's, let me start over. People like, half the reason I watch these train wrecks is because I just can't fucking believe it. Now, it's another thing to move one into your apartment and let them take over your Twitter account, but the idea that he's going to use all of this for a story, like a story about what people on the internet making fun of, it's not story material. But now Todd might be worked into some other kind of character. But as far as this story, I don't think
no.
Brett cares.
I don't think it's about him making a book about Jeremiah Johnson, who's on
Right.
YouTube freaking out on Adderall and cocaine, who's getting into a fight with a Jew-beard hippie out of New Jersey.
Michael Todd Schultzman. That's
Yeah,
what he was doing.
exactly. Get off the internet. You're making an ass out of yourself, Jeremiah said, his ass clinging sweatily to his work lounger and his
CW, you could be a writer.
Brett, no offense to Bret Easton Ellis. It's like da 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 da. Shocking scene. William Faulkner-esque, X, prostitute's torso. Right?
And nipples.
Yeah. It's not that hard to do. Anyway. But what it could be is this notion of, like you said, like it's not about him taking this story, but it's about that energy of where does the Todd Michael Schultz story end?
I think it ends in a dark place.
Well, yeah, it's already headed
prematurely.
But that's but this is the thing, and this is the weird feedback loop that implicates not only Todd or Brett, not necessarily you or me, but maybe even Google itself. Like, is it socially responsible to allow, like, you upload yourself? You can make videos. Like, is that necessarily socially responsible, considering how few people that we know that we could say can really honestly be said to be self-aware or intelligent about what they do or don't do on the internet? And this is coming from CW Chanter. So if I'm making those points, you know how bad some people can be, and some people are.
Well, I guess you have to look at the
rule. How do you set up the rule?
You just kind of have to look at the damage done by the negative stuff versus, like, you do have, there's a positive social benefit to having freedom to, like, who's to say that we would be allowed if they were allowing people to make stuff? Who's to say I probably wouldn't be allowed, because I'm really nasty to people. So
absolutely,
I believe that we should have the right. It's not really hypocritical, though, when I say they shouldn't have the right if what they're doing, like Todd, is wreaking havoc, slandering total strangers. I mean, Patrick would say probably that's what I did to him, but but this is where it gets confusing, because there's going to be a lot of different people who know certain things or less things, and they all have different opinions, and there's not really going to be a consensus. So I guess we kind of just have to deal with those people doing it. But it's still YouTube's responsibility to take it off of the platform. If someone's calling for a terrorism or something, or like saying Joe Biden is a rapist, well, I don't know. Should people be allowed to say that?
So and so that's where it gets, because I don't know how to articulate how to solve the problem. So when we saw it, like leaving this very isolated example for a moment, and then bringing it to a larger, more universally
Right.
applicable scale, look what happened with the QAnon movement, and look what happened with pro-Trump conspiracy theories, and like you said, allegations that Hillary was was doing nasty things, to murdering children in a pizza place or whatever. So you start saying things like, someone's got to control this and someone's got to get X amount of accounts off. But if you start thinking about, like, I was thinking about that just today, because I was thinking about, oh, people like Todd and people like Mother, people who are generally probably suffering from some diagnosable disorder, they shouldn't be allowed to make YouTube content because it's not only dangerous for themselves and harming to themselves, it could be damaging to other people and harmful to other people. But then I thought for a minute, do I want to implement a rule that says somebody with a mental diagnosis can't be a YouTube?
Yeah, they're not all like Todd. They're
Yeah,
not even representative.
so it's like, so how do you make the rule? And then here's the other dirty little secret. There might be a reality that people have to accept, that Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, at a certain point, these organizations and these software suites or whatever grow to a point that the notion of controlling them is an illusion. There's no way that YouTube can come up with a content creation policy that's not hypocritically enforced, because there's no way that they could do what they have to do without people complaining about the YouTube bots and the algorithms. How the fuck else is supposed to YouTube function? You think they can play these content creators man for man? How many gigabytes of data, gigabytes of disparate videos are uploaded to YouTube every minute, spread across how many hundreds of thousands of different channels? Like, how would you do that? And how do you mitigate, false flag, false copyright strikes? And how do you deal with the issue of violations of these terms of service? You know what I mean? Because a 3-minute clip of Revenge of the Nerds is going to violate all sorts of content control guidelines. Not forget the copyright, just the content. You're not allowed to make fun of anybody.
Right.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's another thing that's crazy is you can show a video of someone waving a gun around saying they're going to kill somebody and you'll get the strike, but the video of the person waving the gun around gets an 18 up restriction. It's like, what is the logic here? It makes no sense at all. I've gotten strikes for showing videos that remain up to this day. It's just bizarre. I hate YouTube. I got so sick of dealing with the crap on here.
No, listen, I hear you and I feel you 100%. I don't know what to do. It's a devil's bargain, because, if you want to get your message out there, you play on this platform. If you play on this platform, you play at your own risk, because the channel could be gone tomorrow with
Right.
no recourse and no explanation. And then we say, oh, we wanted a fairer policy. You want a fair policy, and so you want the government to come over and take control? The government takes control and runs the internet as a public commons. Forget about it. They'll be policing your emails.
And then the government will be making stupid, hypocritical shit going on, like
And
YouTube.
not only
Except
that,
it'll be illegal.
right, exactly. If the duties of YouTube fall to a governmental organization or are policed by a governmental organization, you won't just get a YouTube content strike. You will get a fine.
Right. Or possibly jail time.
Or possibly jail time. Right? It's nuts.
So
and that's a beautiful world.
What do you think the solution is? Because if it keeps going, then we're not putting crazy people in asylums anymore. So now it's just spreading like cancer throughout society. There's probably 10% of the people in America who are maybe full-blown insane, if hiding it on some level at least. And it's just growing. The internet is making it worse and worse, and the delusions are getting violent and more specific. And if we don't do something, then we're gonna have a fucking civil war with a bunch of deranged idiots. So we got to do something. But all of the solutions sound like they'll just create. Every solution creates new problems. But
well, yeah, it's like the American system of jurisprudence. Why there are arguments against the death penalty that are basically predicated upon acknowledging the reality that Yeah, even in a perfect, the most perfect system that we can imagine for the adjudication of justice, absolutely, people know that innocent people are going to be found guilty, and guilty people are going to be exonerated and let go on the streets. Right? The risk and dangers are baked in. It's like the closing down things because of a pandemic. Yes, there's going to be economic damage. There's going to be terrible economic damage, and it's going to hit smaller parties way worse than it's going to hit large corporations. But you weigh that against the potential risk of doing nothing, and 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 what are you going to do? Like, you described kind of, I think you're being a little bit, I get the point that you're making, but you just described basically a zombie apocalypse filled with crazy people. Like, I mean, is the internet driving people crazy? Maybe it is. Who knows? Or maybe it's just something,
I think it's drawing it out of them. Like, it's probably everybody's got a little bit of crazy thoughts going around in their head, but certain people are going to be triggered by things that they see online that 10 or 15 years ago would have never triggered them. Like, it's just the time frame now is that if it's almost like people go out looking for things to trigger them. They go out looking to be provoked and to find things to be mad and upset about now. And, I definitely think the internet is making people crazier, though.
Well, man, the internet's probably, it's like rock and roll music. Say what you want about it, Marvin. I think it's here to stay.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah. So, but I mean, my biggest thing with the internet and with these people that we sometimes talk about is this. It's this risk of like we talked about with the targeted individuals. What happens when it allows for an alternative micro community to be generated that enables people to deny their fundamental problems and to just let it therefore get worse and get worse, and especially when you get to the aggregation of people who start egging each other on, whether intentionally, superficially, or at some sort of deeper level of, you get two paranoid schizophrenics in a room, they can start working with each other, and they're gonna there's gonna be real problems in the world,
right?
And like I said, it's like, and we sit aghast because like I got a strike and a warning on YouTube, and I was like, the people I was talking about were specifically the sort of people. It had nothing to do with Corey Good or anyone else. It had to do with Jerome Corsi, the video that they gave me a strike on. And I was like, you're saying that I'm making fun of Jerome Corsi? Because you took Jerome Corsi's channel away, just like you did Alex Jones.
Right.
So wait, I'm not allowed to criticize the guy that you said was so bad that you had to take him off the platform?
They probably didn't even think about it. They ran it through a program, and the program said strike, and that's what happened.
And you know why the program said strike? Because the program counted up X amount of dirty words. They heard the name Jerome that they identified as a proper noun. They heard the word motherfucker. They heard the word this guy. They heard the word idiot or retard, and said, they're making fun of some poor guy named Jerome.
Right.
Right? It wasn't a person. It was nobody weighing it out and thinking about it, because that's impossible. You can't do that. YouTube can't do that. So they operate with these bots.
You should have threatened to kill him. You should have threatened to kill him, and they probably would have left the video up.
They probably would have recommended the algorithm.
Yeah. They would have given you a check mark for that one.
And the other thing that sucks is that guys like you and me, it's like the Democrats and the Republicans. We play fair when they don't. Mm-hmm. I have never struck a Corey Good video. Mm-hmm. I have never did a YouTube strike against any of the people who have said nasty, horrible things about me.
I have, like, when Justin says he's going to kill all the gays, like, that needs to be struck off of YouTube. So I will strike people if they clearly say nasty, hateful things. Like, I'm not talking about say, oh, you're a cunt. Like, that's fine. No. But if you say, like, all the Jews are fake Jews and I'm the real Jew and I'm going to get all those fake Jews, like get off the internet.
The Khazarian Mafia stuff. I never strike them. But the point is, they'll strike me if I just mention their name.
Right.
And that's why I made the analogy to the Democrats and the Republicans, because the Democrats get power and they're like, well, we don't want to not be fair and nice. And meanwhile, when the Republicans come into power, they're like, we're going to make it illegal for Democrats to wear clothes. in the
Right.
hall of justice, whatever the thing may be.
See, they'll put in all the petty work that they like. They'll sit there and spend 8 hours with tons of accounts flagging your video because that's just what they do. But like, I don't want to sit there. I don't, the only reason I cut up Todd's videos is to put him on my show. Well, actually, I do it to annoy him as well. But it's their whole life revolves around this weird little cult that they found themselves in on the internet. And so just like whether it's this mother lady you're talking about before, or Steven used to have people that would like Travis and Nalon, like they got tattoos of him. Most people won't go that far, but if someone thinks that you're like a divine figure or like a alien gave you superpowers, they'll do anything to get your attention and get on your good side. So that's why they have these crazy extremist followers. And then that's why they have all of this time to go and play dirty. Like it takes a lot of time to mass flag even a small video off the internet, but they manage to do it all the time.
No, it's crazy. Well, and like I had a video that had the doxcated information materials in it, where I had taken out and whited out, like had basically with MS Paint had put marker over the names of all the people that were involved. And then Unirock did a video where he had intentionally removed the markers that I had put on.
So he switched it up.
Yeah. And my video got struck down immediately for privacy violations, and his video remains up.
And he was like, him and his audience were flagging it. The one good thing about him and his audience, though, is that he has eventually turned on every last one of them. So they've all learned what it's like to be friends with him at some point, or will.
No, there's so many people that will come in like over the months and years who like will show up in the live chat. I'm like, why do I recognize that name? And they'll be like, hey man, what's going on? I just want to apologize for giving you so much shit in your.
Oh, because he shit on them finally.
He actually shits on them. You know what I mean? Everyone's cool and copacetic with what's going on, and then people come to the instant defense of people that they just met on the internet, and people still play this game of thinking that people that they interact with, online, exclusively online, or somehow like they're real friends, and they can assess whether they're good or bad people, or their morality or their ethics.
Right?
You agree with them on David Wilcock being a jackass.
Right.
Whatever.
People just will latch on for. I feel like a lot of times when people latch on to a particular like figure that they watch on YouTube or something, they might not even know like they might like what the person's saying or whatever, but a lot of times people just like each other for reasons that they can't entirely express. So I don't know. That was a half constructed thought. So sorry if it wasn't really that.
No, well, you're going to have that. I mean, this is what happens when we talk live on the internet. Eventually you're going to come up with things that make you sound super awesome and cool and smart. And occasionally you're going to put a foot wrong and not be able to explain things perfectly. It's the nature of the game. It's the nature of the beast.
We were talking about radicalize these communities like targeted individuals and whatnot. The government used to have to watch Nazis, the Klan. Like it was clear who had to be watched before. And now you might say, well, targeted individuals should be watched. And maybe they are to a degree, but you have to watch bronies now. There was a brony who went and shot up a public place, and his suicide note said, I hope I can be with Applejack on the other side. A fucking pony.
No, check this out. So right? There's somebody out there who is aware of all the who lost someone in that attack, who's aware of all the facts and situations that has to know that their best friend, their homie, or their brother, like was taken out in the name of Applejack.
That's like
how do you process that? Like, can you imagine that therapy session? Like, can you imagine being that person that has to go to the therapist who's just like a normal, hi, I'm Joe social worker. So what's on your mind? You want to role play it?
No.
Sure?
Wait.
You be the therapist.
I can't do it.
You can.
No, I can't. I can't channel. My channeling antenna is broken today.
You want me to see if we do both?
Sure, go ahead.
Hey Doc, what's going on? Don't call me Doc. Just call me Joe. It'll be okay. So Dave, tell me about what's going on. What brings you here? A lot of things. I'm having difficulty processing some stuff. Tell me about it. What's going on? I lost a friend to remember that attack that happened like 2-3 weeks ago. All those people got shot up in the McDonald's. Yeah, I remember hearing about that. Did you lose someone in that? Yeah, I did. And it's not just the loss. I've been doing this reading and this research and kind of figuring out, and thinking about, and obsessing about the guy that did it, and like why he did it. And to know that that happened to my friend, well, I don't know a lot about it. Can you walk me through it? Can you kind of let me know what's on your mind, what's happening? Okay, do you know what a brony is? Right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, how do you communicate what's killing you?
It would be enraging because you can't even describe it without sounding like a crazy. I mean, people would understand, but like on top of that, it's not just like some random piece of shit like walked into the mall. It's like it was specifically a brony who specifically did it to be with a My Little Pony in the afterlife. And the My Little Pony they heavily implied that the pony is a lesbian in the show as well.
He doesn't even get the narrative correct. But like what? Oh my God! What about brony on brony violence? Like, what if like your brony, your mom died in that horrible attack by another brony who did it in the name of Applejack? And like, what if like Applejack is your thing, or you're a lesbian who lost your mother and your Applejack is your thing? It's like, and you're like, what? How do you like? The patriarchy's involved and implicated. Like, how do you do it? Like, how do you make? Like, this is the modern world we live in. Like, how do we do? And first of all, like, what a way to like not like this. Like, if you get shot because someone's doing it for Jodie Foster, like that's one thing,
right?
Maybe there's like some like cachet there or something. But because to be shot.
At least you can understand that. At least you can understand that person is insane and he's trying to get Jodie Foster's attention. Jodie Foster's a real person. Right. Applejack's an animated horse.
But look at the amount of emotions and feelings that people are called to invest in these make-believe characters.
It's weird. It's like people do not become full adults anymore. At some point they stopped and they just, I mean, I guess maybe adults can like, I love comic books, but I would say that I feel very childlike in terms of I don't know how to put it exactly. I know I'm an adult and I try to behave like an adult, but I sense that there's some kind of stunted development in me. And that's why I love comic books and video games and all of that. And we're going to get to the point where we have 60 and 70-year-old people who collect action figures and put on the VR headset. And like, it's just, what are old people going to be like in 40 or 50 years? And what are young people going to be like for that matter?
Well, no. So part of it was this, that I thought about this a while ago. This is like, say, this big kick around in my head, like a little cute concept and idea that floats out of my mouth every once in a while. The World War II generation, like the greatest generation, those guys and gals thought that they were who they really were when they became adults, right? They identify their adolescence, their childhood as their developmental phase, and they are who they are when they become adults.
And a lot of times 18 meant you were an adult back then.
Now check this out. Nowadays, I feel as though people feel as though they were who they were when they were in their like
childhood
20s, at the latest.
Right.
Like, look at me. I'm perpetually frozen in time. Here I am with a fucking Japanese noise artist T-shirt. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? And like I said, I'm right with you with the video games and the music and the entertainment.
But see, they got frozen in time too. It was just when they became 18 and that's who they were. Well, we sort of think the same way. It's just we still think like we should get leeway because we're not fully mature. We're always still sort of children. Where the sense of response, and I don't know, I never lived in that time period, obviously, but like it feels like there was more of a sense of responsibility, or I'm probably just hallucinating because everyone still was a piece of shit in the 70s, so I don't know what I'm talking about.
I mean, it's the thing. It's like we can't go back there. We weren't there. So just like we think about the 60s and this idealized, everyone in the world was a hippie when that clearly wasn't true. When people talk about the greatest generation and act as though like, Bill Maher said, when the housing crisis happened in 2008, he noted the number of people that were walking away and just abandoning their houses and their mortgages because they couldn't fulfill them. He goes, the World War II generation, they wouldn't have done that. Meaning, they like, if they had a mortgage that was putting them underwater, they would have still kept on paying and just stayed there and then done something or worked the land or whatever. And I'm like, you've no fucking concept of
Yeah.
people being more or less honest back then. It's like that's the nature of nostalgia to begin with, especially nostalgia for time periods that you weren't about. Like,
Yeah, and you can erase all the bad stuff
yeah,
from
like
it
these
that you don't want to
conservatives who act
remember.
like, when can we go back to the great old America of the 1950s? And it's like the great old America of the
Yeah.
1950s. Why is it so crazy that the African American community and Latin American community absolutely do not want to go back to the good old days of the 1950s?
Right.
Well, the 1950s were horrendous and horrible, but
Well,
delusions.
we've kind of like been fed this perspective, like just in school. Like they didn't teach us about the Tulsa massacre in school. How many other things did we not get taught about in school? It's all kind of taught from this nostalgic white male perspective, and everything's viewed through this frame of like, oh, America was great. It doesn't say for the white man or for white men at this particular time, but like it goes without saying because all of history is framed through the eyes of white men, at least American history, at least until the last few decades where it started to be reshaped a little bit.
I don't know. I don't know what it is. All I know is that I think it's true. We talk about it. We talk about how the fact of like as the generations go further in time, projecting these people into the future and imagining what the world controlled by the 20 somethings of today, kind of nightmare scenario that would be. Because it does seem that there's a kind of a lessening of quality control.
Yeah, but as people get older, they do. I mean, like, yeah, in your 20s, you might have some I believe some dumbass crap in my 20s that I'm in my 30s and like, okay, well, I don't believe that now. So the generation that we view as being a little bit like, less or whatever, maybe deficient in one way, like, you don't know how they'll be in 10 years necessarily. They could be totally different.
True enough. Like, you know what I mean? Like, things go back and forth. I don't know. So we've been here 2 hours. I felt like we would have gotten more, like we never even got into our history, how we've known each other over the years. That
we met at a human sacrifice, I believe.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
But think about this. Put this in your pipe and smoke it. We've known each other. I'm coming up on the 6th year anniversary in August. It'll be the 6th anniversary of the CW Chanter channel. You've had innumerable channels because your channels keep on getting ameliorated and destroyed.
Yeah, well, actually, I'll get a strike one channel and then I'll just move the stuff over to another channel until I get a strike there, and then I figure if people want to watch the replays, they can just pay attention to my Twitter to find out where it's at.
So it's like musical strikes.
Yeah, because I'm not getting a whole channel wiped out at once by YouTube, because I don't want to re-upload them for people to. Some people watch the old stuff, so it really annoys the people that I talk about in them that the videos remain up. So I like to make sure that they do.
There you go. And then it's also true. It's like people don't go back. First of all, like everyone, like I'm making content. I've been making content 5 days a week. My average stream is usually an hour and a half to 2 hours long. So you know how many like hours and hours of content there are? Like there's no way that people are digging into these archives. Who has the time?
Right.
Who has the inclination to like, what did CW Chanter think about Donald Trump's bombing of Syria?
Dude, Unirock went back and found one of our first interactions. Like
I remember. Well, going back to the first one is easy because that's just like an endpoint. That's like a period of time. Like, but you couldn't have found.
He really thought he had some. What was he saying? Like these two have known each other for years. It's like
these guys know each other.
Yeah, I don't think we said that we didn't, or implied that we didn't.
Or it's like they're involved in backroom communications. You mean that we DM each other on Twitter, which we've acknowledged? That's not a secret cabal. That's utilizing a communication protocol on an established social media circuit. Sorry, bro.
And the clip he took, if he had just watched the rest of the episode, we even got into it at the end of the episode over Patrick. And I think that like we were fighting for like a few months.
We were. That was like that's why we didn't talk about like the history here. It's like you and me have gone back and forth. Like, and talk about irrelevancy, talk about outlasting people. Think how many videos you have about Krista Raisa.
Yeah, they almost always go away.
They go away.
But we're still here.
That's it. Arturus Rod did make an entrance, did make a presentation at on the New Realities channel with Alan Steinfeld.
His appearances are sparse these days. Not even appearances, but his efforts. He doesn't even make videos that often. But I think
still make videos. People often wonder,
did he get in your head?
What I'm doing, I'm still here, present, even if it's simply holding this space for the Arcturians.
That sounds like them all. They all say that.
They all sound like that. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, the Orion Council, but then there's people who think that the Orion Council were the bad guys who started the war and were the Dracos. And
yeah, I was going to do a whole spiel about that, but we're beyond all of that now, I guess.
Everything's crazy. Everything's that. So let's thumbnail our history because we gotta exit this somehow, and we can do this again. There's nothing stopping us from doing this again. No, well, first of all, let's plug your current stuff. Where's the best place to find you to be tuned in to what's going on with you?
I always premiere live on DLive. So it's just dlive.tv.
Somebody drop the description box below as well.
But yeah, so that's where I go live, and all of the chat that you see on the screen and all of that's happening there. And then afterwards, I just upload it to the Omni-Eris News Network channel for now. So.
And are your other channels around? Like,
they're still there.
How many channels do you think you've created over the years?
I know I have 10 logged in right now, but over the years, there've been a lot because I would make throwaway like if I'm really like going at someone with a sock account and they ban me, I'll just go make another one. Because like, if like, for instance, Todd, if I'm getting gold out of Todd and then he suddenly bans me, it's like, I'm not going to stop. Like you were on a roll, man. So I couldn't tell you because a lot of them I've only used once or twice.
So when you create a new sock account, is there any thought about, is the secret to let the person know that the new sock account is you, to let them know that you're still around?
It depends.
Or is the secret to like have a character and have like create a new like kind of tulpa or magical entity?
It depends. Like some of them, like, well, Elmo I used to use as Elmo, but I stopped doing that.
Elmo.
But some of them have their own personalities. Like Pee Wee Herman always goes, ha ha. But most of the time I'll speak like it's me, or I'll even straight up say that it's me. But not always. Like sometimes if somebody's only responding to having their ass kissed, then I'll have to kiss their ass. Or like with Todd, there was one I had him going for like an hour, and I was just like, God, that was so good, Todd. Can you do Blank Space by Taylor Swift next? What about Loveful by the Cardigans? And he was just doing everything I told him to do, and until Killendall, that little jerk, told him it was me. That's when I had enough. I've given Killendall enough chances. Screw him.
No, well, listen, it's a gift that keeps on giving. And he'll know, he'll tell 100% that he's right and you're wrong, right? Anywho, the great thing about Todd Michael Schultz, we need to talk about this, is his ability to sing any song, nail the lyrics, play a completely random chord progression underneath.
And you can't tell what it is.
And you can't tell what it is.
I'm like, is this Meatloaf or?
No. If I try to sing a given song, I may butcher it because I just can't hit the notes, right?
But you get the melody.
Sort of. But he'll do a completely different melody, and the chord progressions. It's like avant-garde music. I mean,
do you think he does that thinking it's brilliant? Like he's just gonna give it, but it's not even a good melody. It's like literally like beep boop 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 beep boop.
No, it's a completely random chords. Like that's what makes it avant-garde art. But what's really amazing is that he'll be able to nail the lyrics, but the melody is a completely different melody, right? Dude,
you got to see this video he recorded today. I'll send you a link after the show, but he was singing a cappella for 10 minutes, like every random 90s pop song you can think of. And then at the end, he goes, "This is my art." It's like, It's nuts. It's just insane.
And that's why we keep on watching, right?
Of course.
It's compelling. It's
If
compelling.
he keeps uploading, I will keep watching and talking about it. That's the rules.
I mean, and it's just it's worth talking about. But here's the thing: as things back, like so, you had this like what's his name? Sonichu. What's his name?
Chris Chan,
Chris Chandler, Chris Chan, and then we mentioned King Cobra GFS,
Lucas Warner.
Yeah, Lucas Warner. Who there was the other guy, the Giamatti, the he wanted to be a weightlifter.
I don't know that one.
The Gino, I forget what his name was. Anyway, but as time goes on, there's people that are like a million candidates for that. They're almost even better candidates for that.
Right.
You just know that there's too much competition.
It's like they compete with each other to be insane.
But it's like, and you can tell, like, there's a certain level at which I will be like, I want a community to form, like Ivan Teller. Like, I plug Ivan Teller all the time.
Yeah, I remember Ivan.
Yeah, well, Ivan said some nasty, crazy, racist shit again the other day that I've been threatening to talk about, and I keep on forgetting to.
I never knew that about him. I just thought he was a fucking dumbass who, well, he makes money off of it, though, so I guess calling him a dumbass is kind of far-fetched.
And that's the other thing that pisses us off, right? Like, here we are making cogent arguments. We may be nasty and rude, but at least we're making cogent arguments, whereas some people just get on YouTube, put on the webcam, make absolutely no sense, and are dumb, and they'll get like 20,000 subscribers.
Yeah, it's kind of outrageous sometimes, but
life is not fair, right?
It is what it is, though.
It is what it is. It is what it is. Anyway, what should we do? Should we plugged? You're on D Live. There's the Omni-Eris News Network that we have plugged in the description box below. Do you want to take like 10 minutes for audience questions, or fuck that and just
sure? That's fine.
Let me ask you this: are you comfortable? Do you feel like that I'm correct in that we should, this broadcast should be we should bring this horse into the stable?
Yeah, I mean, unless I'll go as long as you want, but if you need to go too, that's fine with me, because I'll just go. I need to clip these Todd videos at some point, but I've been putting it off because I really don't want to hear his voice in my head for the next 3 hours.
Good luck. Well, if there's anything that's going to keep his voice out of your head better than sitting there editing his videos, listening to specific small sections over and over again, I can't think of one.
Yeah, I know that I've done this to myself, but
you've done this to yourself.
Dude, I will just be walking around doing whatever I do, and then all in my head I hear forgiveness.
Even if you don't love me anymore.
I love when he throws these little flares onto the end of the words like he's doing something, but it's just where he goes, oh. It's like, shut the fuck up, Todd. Like, you are a clown. Like, you are so bad.
It's again, I'm going to say the unknown skill set is his ability to get the lyrics right and come up with a new melody. Because that's hard to do. That's like patting your belly and rubbing your head at the same time. Patting your head and rubbing your belly at the same time. It's deceptively hard. Like try to sing the Old Spice melody wrong. It's like you can't do it.
He does it.
He does it.
He does have some talent. I'm sorry I called him talentless.
No one gets a melody wrong like Todd Michael Schultz. And then the chord progression, which is always the same chord progression.
It's all over the place.
It's all over the place.
Dude,
that's art form. That is someone's gonna discover remixing that shit, and that's what's
I wish somebody would. I mean, I've put up plenty of clips for them, but
and yet nothing happens.
He always gets these. It's like he'll get a 90s or maybe an 80s song stuck in his head, and then like what has been stuck in his head the last week is that Meatloaf song. I would do anything for love.
Oh my god!
And he keeps singing it, and it's like it does not. What the? I kept listening to it. I was like, is he singing Meatloaf? But it's the lyrics, but it doesn't sound anything like it. Yeah, so I don't know what's going on in his decision-making process.
Again, like I have no idea. But anyway, let's do this. We'll do like 5-10 minutes of audience participation in the live chat. I got to because what ends up happening, I got to hit the road. I got a road trip tomorrow, so I got to do, and I got to pack for it and everything. So I
have a show tomorrow night, everyone at 9. Okay. So 9 Eastern time on D Live.
9 Eastern time, D Live. Be there. I won't be on live, so you can go ahead and watch Michael, which I endorse. Michael, here's the other thing. One last thing.
You can make money on D Live. You need to learn how to set it up correctly. I mean, if you're just putting it over here on YouTube and dual streaming it to D Live, then nobody has any reason to watch it over there. So, and they can't send you money on YouTube, even though that they took away your monetization here.
Right.
So, what do you have to lose by shifting it over to there? And then just put whatever replay or something up over on YouTube if it's that important to you.
Because the reason I do shit on YouTube is because YouTube automatically archives. If I want to be live, I'd have to record it and then shift it over here, right?
That's true, but you could just use like a program like OBS and then
I can't use a program like OBS.
You can't?
No, I cannot.
Technologically deficient?
Technologically deficient. And I don't have... Listen to me. I have been speaking for months since demonetization happened about setting up a PayPal donation button. And it hasn't happened due to my technical deficiency and lack of time. Setting up a PayPal donation button.
Lack of time? It takes like 2 minutes.
Exactly. That's what we're dealing with here. So no, I can't. And then we were talking about, some people in the audience were suggesting that D Live, there's a rumor that D Live fucks up your computer because it mines cryptocurrency while you're watching.
It doesn't. I use D Live all the time, and my computer's not fucked up. As far as mining cryptocurrency, I do hear my computer making noises sometimes when I'm not using it. So maybe. I'm just kidding.
Well, no, because if D Live is paying people in cryptocurrency, they've got to be generating the cryptocurrency somehow, right?
I don't know how any of that works. I hate cryptocurrency. It pisses me off. But I need to grab a soda, and I'll be right back.
Okay. So folks, we will evolve. We will get this question. We will present this question accurately. I mean, accurately. We will actually present this question. If people are in the live chat, Sage says, I wonder if I gave you $500 now. Wonder if I gave you $500 now, CW Chanter. I'm wondering about it right now. While he's doing that, I want to grab water myself. Hold on.
So hold on. Is D Live using cryptocurrency to pay people? I didn't know that.
Wasn't that the deal? Wasn't there something with that? Like that? I forget what it was. But that's,
I mean, you convert the money into something called lemons, or you can use it as like ice cream is like $1, and then $5 is Ninja Genie. I didn't realize it was converting. Why would they convert it to cryptocurrency and then reconvert it to cash when they pay the creators? That seems like a step that's completely unnecessary.
No, I have no idea. But isn't like that you convert the lemons and everything into? I don't know. This is what they.
But then they reconvert because they're paying me in cash. Well, they send money to my bank account when I get paid.
I have no idea.
All right.
Elaine Ebony is like hate tweeting me, hate commenting me on the live chat. I have no idea why. Wait. So anyway, here officially now. Officially now, CW Chanter is looking at the aggregating live chat questions on StreamYard. So if you've got a question or comment for me or Michael, let us know. Pragmagic says they use your computer to mine crypto, not pay in crypto.
Is that really true, or is that just something people say on the internet?
I have no idea. We'd have to rely on people. But
it sounds like a conspiracy theory.
Well, let's not turn it into a debate about D-Live, or we will literally be here 10,000 years. Evolve says it is crypto, but they don't crypto mine on your computer. Whoever said that is silly, but we don't know, because that might be. We have questions about who Evolve is.
I believe that person.
No, you don't.
Yes.
There you go. Oh, here we go. This is the question here we go. Evolve Nerdigan asks, Omni, What do you like the most about CW, and what is the worst thing about him?
I'll start with the worst thing. I feel like you like to get one over on people, but I can't say that's really the worst thing because I do as well.
What does that mean? Get one over.
When we had that Psychic Vampires episode and you pulled that suicidal ideation stuff on me, I was like, this motherfucker planned this. You planned it.
No, everyone thinks that about me. I'm not crazy. I can't plan this shit.
No, I don't know.
No, these are completely spontaneous interactions. There are still people that think that I doxed Joe from the Carolinas.
Those people are stupid, though.
And of course it's stupid.
But well, I'm not stupid. Are you saying that I'm stupid?
No, I'm saying that 110%. I was not familiar enough with Patrick John Coleman to know what the fuck was going on. Also, I was drinking heavily.
We all were.
We all were. All of a sudden,
Ronaldinho the most, though.
You guys were raging on this guy, raging on him, and then you were like, look at this, it's hysterical. And he was like, you win. I accept it. I'm a piece of shit. I'm going to kill myself.
That's not what he said. Like, that's not what he said. That's not what he said. He just said something about suicidal thoughts, which he had used a million. I mean, I guess you didn't know that. I get it. But there was another time we were having a conversation when I lived in Houston, and we were talking about YouTube, like the wars or whatever that go on, but like Patrick, and you were talking to me about Patrick, and you made a Game of Thrones analogy, and you were like, you don't know if this guy's Ramsay Bolton, you don't know if he's, and I was just like, Game of Thrones, like, what do you think this is?
CW? Game of Thrones, and I was drinking.
It was the daytime. But anyway, what I like most about CW is that I think this is embarrassing, but I think he's pretty authentic. I'm going to talk about you like you're not here. And I just think he's been really consistently on the side of right whenever there's a topic coming up. I don't think I've ever seen him say something where I'm like, fuck that, except when he talks about culture and retro stuff. That he's wrong about all of that. But when it comes to like ethical stuff, I always find you on the right side.
You're just in denial because if you acknowledge the fact that there's no new media, it'll break your heart.
There never has been.
Ooh, touche.
That's right. So get over it already.
Get over it already.
But also, I just think that you're a good person. I just feel like you are.
Because I am. I'm not. I have a high moral ethic. Well, I don't know if I.
What do you think Todd would make of this?
Oh, Todd would be like, CW is going to say he's a good person, but he's literally platforming Michael Omni-Eris, who hurts people.
Then he called me. He said, "You gave life to this monster." It's like,
meanwhile, you came before me.
Yeah.
No, this is. I'm sorry. Go.
That was it. That was what I was gonna say.
So I went off on Stephen Cambion, this guy who like started doing what I do, and then I was like, "You're stealing my bit, yada 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 yada, stealing my bit." And then I got off, and I was like, "Well, if you think about it, you were doing this before I was."
Yeah, but you don't really. I mean, sometimes you kind of do something similar, but I stole the format from the Drunken Peasants. I just specifically talk about crazy people, and they suck now. They're so unwatchable.
Listen, everybody goes past their prime.
They should have quit long ago.
Well, but nobody can because they invest all their time in it's just like,
and they quit all their other jobs.
That's the problem. People didn't know. A lot of people, when this thing started happening, when things like this are new and start taking off.
They thought they were going to be like Howard Stern, like it was just going to be an explosion.
Exactly. Well, it's not only that they thought they were going to be like Howard Stern. What it was is this: that models exist. And people come in and new things start to develop and they think and assume that this new thing is going to play by the same rules as the old model.
Right.
So a lot of YouTube content creators, Instagram, social media, impresarios, whatever, thought that because musicians, rock stars, would have career trajectories that would go for 10 or 15 years or generate millions and millions of dollars, that the same would be true that a YouTube content creator is like the radio DJ of yesterday.
Right.
Meanwhile, like radio DJs, like talk radio DJs like Howard Stern, they were famous for getting paid jack shit.
Yeah, it didn't pay off for him until the last 20 years.
Until the last 20 years. And he became a cultural phenomenon. And then there was like one iteration after him with Opie and Anthony, right?
And
then
they fucked it up.
They fucked it up. Then the generation that comes after them. Now, what people don't realize is that when Howard Stern was competing and Opie and Anthony were competing, they were essentially competing in a game of two, right? It was like
they were both on.
It was the United States of America versus the USSR. There are two superpowers, and everyone else is banding behind them. What these people don't realize is that every year, every time someone is successful at anything like YouTube, immediately that sends out a shot call to all the other people, the wannabes, to say, this is a model that I can replicate. This is a model that can be some sort of success. The minute I started doing CW Chanter and talking shit about, Mendoza and all this stuff, there every year after that, there was a new crop of people that would come along, like kind of doing that. God bless them. But it's like the Xerox copy of the Xerox copy of the Xerox copy. Not in terms of my content, but in terms of effects and impact.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, and it happens with the crazy people too. You know how many secret space program whistleblowers come out all the time? You ain't going to be a Corey Good. You're not going to be Travis Walton.
Most of them don't last 6 months.
They don't last 6 months. They do one interview. They do one appearance on Project Camelot while Project Camelot is still alive. They do whatever. This girl, Sarah Rachel Adams, who recently got on Jimmy Church's Fade to Black, it took her years of working like the underground lame ass.
Yeah. Circle. You got to keep doing it. But a lot of these people just, once it's not working, they just immediately, right. Like we were mentioning Howard Stern, like the reason that eventually worked is because every single year there was increasingly consistent quality and he didn't stop. It's not like after 5 years, if he'd said, well, this isn't working, I quit. Like these people don't last, again, 5 or 6 months, much less 5 to 40 years putting in the work to actually have something pay off. You have to put it, I think he always says this too, 10,000 hours at least of work into something to at least become proficient at it enough to where you could possibly make money off of it and these people don't have that kind of commitment. That's why they choose UFOs. That's why they choose these stupid groups, because the people in those groups, you don't have to put as much work into manipulating them.
It's like Christian rock. You know what I mean? It's like your narrow casted audience whose lack of choices are going to make it that much more, apparent that they have to choose you. We're a Christian black metal band. Well, I like black metal, but I don't want my parents to yell at me for listening to satanic music. So I guess I'm listening to you.
You have one choice.
You have one choice. Or then there's another Christian black metal band that comes along like, hey guys, brothers in Christ, right? And they're like, yeah, we're so fucking glad you showed up. Now we're a fucking scene. Now the people have two choices, dingbat.
They get real Christian with each other.
Get real Christian with each other. So anyway, so like the point being is that like on YouTube, like the number of content creators proliferates at exponentially. Like how are you gonna all like podcasting? How are all these people thinking that they're gonna get like if you like 10 podcasters,
who has time?
Who's got the time?
You can usually pick one, and you're usually going to pick the one of the highest quality according to you. You're not going to listen to 10 and give them all some credit for trying. You don't get credit for trying. If I don't want to listen to you talk for 3 hours, I'm not going to do it.
Or how about then there's also the frisson of the community around that. If I'm making 90% quality content, but I've only got 5 subscribers, not only am I prejudiced against algorithmically wise, I'm not going to get recommended. But people come along, it's boring because if you pick up on something like if you watch Joe Rogan, you know that if you hang out at a dumbass sports bar and you've like watched the last 3 Joe Rogans, you're gonna have something to talk about with all those guys who are like, I'm sort of cool and into peyote, but I'm also a fucking white baseball cap sports fan douchebag.
That's a world I can't even conceive of.
Right?
The Roganverse.
The Roganverse, right? So that you'd have something to talk about. But if you're listening to some guy who's making great points about, the esoteric implications of astrology and the Manson murders, but no one else is watching him or listening to him, what are you going to do? Who are you going to communicate with? There's no one in that forum, right?
Well, eventually they have a choice where they can either just keep talking about whatever they want and not really care, or they can well, they have three choices. They could also go the hell away, which most of them do. But the other choice, which a lot of them do, is they start looking at content that's similar to theirs and then just emulating it. Like, oh, they just put out this video about the James Charles situation. I better get out my video about James Charles too, because that'll get views. Look at how many views the James Charles topic is getting right now. So then they put out these mediocre videos about subjects they don't even care about to get money from people who don't care about them either. I don't know. There's a lot of really mediocre copycat content on YouTube.
Oh no, well that's the other. That's like the news cycle, like the 1.5 hour news cycle on YouTube, where yeah, like you said, like Community Rock is the king of that. Whatever the fuck people are talking about, he's going to talk about, even though he's got no idea what he's talking about.
Dude, he was making videos about Game of Thrones predictions. It's like, aren't you like the conspiracy topic guy?
He's like, that's like, we got to talk about Boogie 893759653 being in jail.
That's right. He just talks about anything, doesn't he?
About anything. I guarantee he looks at the trending subjects of the day and is like, we're going to make a video about this. Work that algorithm, baby.
I just love his turnover is so high. I mean, I don't know what he's up to now, but I'm halfway tempted to just go take a look.
We might be shocked and scared of the results. 1 million viewers.
Oh my god, I would be upset.
I would exactly. That's like, don't look, just don't look. It's like Lisa Simpson and the advertising monsters.
The Illuminati better get their shit together.
So anyway, so look, what else is there? Oh wait, but a point about the other content creators. There's so much competition, and people quit their day jobs because they. And the other thing is that they don't take into account is that they're going to have a career lifespan. That there's going to be a beginning, a middle, and an end. Like look at Stern. Stern is basically like Larry King. He's in a closet like before he died. He's out there, he's still making content, but he's basically retired.
Right. He works from home 3 hours a day, 3 days a week. So, and
yeah,
I mean, and I know the only reason he still works is because he can't stand the idea of people not hearing him talk all the time, but he definitely doesn't have to.
Right.
And also, I think if he were to suddenly stop, I think that Sirius, that could actually have a negative effect on Sirius XM as well, because I'm canceling my subscription when he's gone. I'm not keeping it.
I can't. Are you still subscribed to Sirius XM for Howard fucking Stern?
Yes, I love Howard Stern's one of my heroes. I love Howard Stern. There's Howard Stern, David Bowie, was Stephen King in high school, but that's kind of petered off. You, of course, CW.
Of course. Howard Stern, I grew up on Howard Stern, but at a certain point, I was just like, "Fuck," I'm not gonna watch.
It's definitely watered down content at this point.
Like now he's like, "I'm here with the amazing Elton John."
Well, I don't listen to his celebrity interviews because I can't stand to listen to him kiss someone like Drew Barrymore. He was kissing her ass, and I'm like, she's a fake ass witch. Like you would have called her out on it, but he does have some funny stuff. Like they covered Fist Fest last year, which is a gay fisting orgy. And they had all the audio of the people getting fisted and screaming. I was like, that's pretty funny.
I thought he'd give that sort of stuff up.
No, on Sirius XM, he can play porno on there. It's just that he's older and more liberal now, I guess. So he's not as nasty. He's just a bitchy old man now.
Right. No, gone are the halcyon days of butt bongo bonanza. Right.
And there's less of the whack pack stuff. Like I think he feels like it was a bit exploitative, so he's downplayed a lot of it. Plus they keep dying, so he probably feels bad about that too.
People keep dying?
Eric the Midget died. Well, a lot of whackpackers have died over the years. There was Joey Boots died. I don't remember all of them.
Oh man.
And then High Pitch Eric is probably gonna die soon. Like that guy's huge.
Size wise or like
size wise, he's not doing well.
His numbers are amazing on Twitter.
Oh no, he makes like thousands of dollars a year on Cameo. Wow. So that's the life, I guess.
It's got an audio hook, right? High pitch.
I think that's a fake voice too. I don't think that's real.
What about Beetlejuice? How's Beetlejuice doing?
He's alive, but his family doesn't let him talk to the Howard Stern show anymore. So
probably for the best.
Yeah.
Or maybe not. Who knows? So anyway, so people think that they're going to be Howard Stern, but no. Every generation is going to be less. There's less return. There's more people. There's more competition. So it's like, this is the expression. I stole this from a rave magazine. back in like 1999. Andy Warhol said that everyone was going to, in the future, everyone was going to be famous for 15 minutes. He was wrong. In the future, everybody's going to be famous to 15 people. I think that right? Isn't that like, I'm a superstar in this world of May, right? We got 58 people watching us live. Holy shit. At one point in this broadcast, I think we had 75. That was like, wow. I was like, holy shit. That's like, we'd be talking crap about David Wilcock numbers.
That's more than most people have listened to them just run their mouth for hours.
Yeah, absolutely. But then again, at the same time, put it in real life perspective.
It's
amazing numbers. Holy shit, we're giants. But it's like,
not really. It's kind of sad.
Like, yeah, no, it's like
it's almost sad that you look at it and you're like, wow, 58 people.
75 people. Holy shit. People are like, 5,999 people watch me when I just do, hauls from, Sephora or whatever. Yeah, but you're a chick and good looking. So
you should have a meltdown. Your numbers will go up.
They always do. Beyond the most successful shows are me talking shit about David Wilcock or Mendoza or somebody else. That's the number one content. And then the other number one content is people hate watching when I make a video entitled, I think I'm really losing it this time. CW sings the blues.
Have you done that in a while?
I haven't done that in a while. Because my life is improving. Everyone keeps on threatening me on the astral plane. You sue me for $15,000, I'll pay that fucking bill. You know what I mean? It's not going to be easy, but I've survived this long. I've learned things along the course of time.
What if Todd hired you to sue yourself? Would you take him up on? If Todd hired you to sue yourself, would you take him up on the offer?
No.
Why
would I? I don't know.
You would be famous. Possible. You would be famous for being Todd's lawyer and the person that he sued.
Great. I would. You know what? I'll tell you what. I wouldn't let Todd hire me to sue myself, but I would give him the free consultation.
Oh, you could film it.
No, I couldn't
on the internet. No, come on, sneak a camera in there. Todd's not gonna sue you.
No, attorney-client. I wouldn't do it because it's against the ethics. Attorney-client privilege. I wouldn't film the.
What if you are just you take off the lawyer hat and you put on the pretend lawyer hat? Is it legal then?
How it works. No, because if I did that, that's like trying to do an end run against my ethics as an attorney.
There's got to be a loophole. Those Catholics got loopholes in everything.
Well, the only loophole would be is that if I interview him or if I talk to him, if I say to him, I'm talking to you just as friend to friend, and I film it. But I wouldn't do that anyway because I wouldn't do that to a guy.
Oh, come on, it's Todd. He's a turd.
He's got.
Here we come full circle.
There you go. He'll be like him trying to wrap his head around this one. It'll be.
He won't watch it. He'll watch 5 minutes of it, then he'll be so injured that he'll just not watch the rest of it. Yeah, exactly. He does it all the time.
I know what they said. They said this.
Mm-hmm. And they'll accuse you of sending him death threats.
Yeah,
I know it was you. You're the only person that talks like that. Okay, that's really good evidence.
There you go. Anyway, I don't know if anyone had any questions asked. We didn't take live chat questions. We're good. And we went for another half an hour, so we're good. Let's wrap it up because I do have to get going. But we should do this again. This was a blast. We can do this again.
That would be cool.
I'd even do it with you on DLive if that would help you in any way, shape, or form.
It doesn't matter to me. I just do 2 shows a week, and I just need time. I need things to put in them usually. Although Todd has kept me very busy with putting things to put in my show. So
what do you do when you are personally obsessed with covering somebody, but the audience gives you feedback that they're not interested in that person?
I just keep going. I've been told by so many people, like, can you just not cover Justin? It's like, I'm not stopping until I get what I want out of Justin, which is to watch him I want to watch him get his karmic retribution for all of the terrible things that he's done and said online. And until I see
what would that constitute?
Well, it's already happening because he's homeless and lives in an RV now. So it's already happening. So I'm already getting what I wanted. And there's less Justin on the show.
But wait, if he's living in an RV, then he's really not homeless because he's got home as an RV.
He's not getting. Listen, he's homeless. Let's not cut. What is that word? Let's not cut.
Split hairs.
Split hairs. Yeah, that's it. Let's not split hairs.
They'll just go with that one.
He got evicted, thrown out of his house.
Mortimer James says, I miss the musical CW. You know, the problem is 90% of the problem at this point was a lot of it had to do with timing. It also had to do with my suite mate came to the habit of staying late in the office, which meant that, you know, I can talk, but I didn't want to, you know, start jamming like psychedelic drones to the other attorney. And then when the this I don't know whether I need to replace the cable or if the microphone is dead. But we people started telling me that there was static off the Blue Yeti microphone. So then now
I hate those things.
Again, I have the microphone on the webcam, and I honestly don't think that would work for the musical stuff, which is another reason why I haven't done it. But we'll do it again sometime. Like things come in cycles. Who knows? So yeah. Michael, I've known you. So here's the other thing. I've known you at this point half a decade.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
If only I knew when I started YouTube what it would look like 6 years later.
I started YouTube when I was 40 years old. It was my birthday present to myself at 40. That was I'm going to be 46 this year. You know what I mean? And we talk about people who hit career trajectories too early and then deviate and fall down like the drunken peasants. What about guys like you and me that are just like the old blues musicians? You know what I mean?
We'll never get the credit we deserve, CW. Maybe when we're dead.
We're here, we're there, and it'll be like we never. And like the archive stuff, like what is the relevancy of the CW Chanter and Michael Omni-Eris content?
They'll teach it in schools in the future.
They'll
have people writing dissertations about us.
You see what these guys are doing right here? Spending all their time and effort talking about talking about like the homeless guy in the street corner. Don't do that.
Oh no, everyone will do it in the future. We will be dead long before our reverberations are felt, but we will have influenced society, and everyone will be like us in the future.
That's a scary thought. No, but it's like Vincent. Like, how many people like their real impact after they died? Like, say nothing about Vincent Van Gogh, about Jesus Christ, right? It's like you got to die to get the big hits.
Nobody knew who Edgar Allan Poe was until after. Like, he died penniless, drunk, and alone, and hated by everyone.
Same thing with H.P. Lovecraft.
Yeah, and now both of them are. I mean, if only they knew, like, how big their work would be after they were dead. If you knew that something that you did was going to be huge after you died, but it would take a lot of your work during your life, but you would never see the result of it, would that stifle your desire to do it?
No, because you know there would be the ultimate payoff of you being famous and remembered through the generations. It's the not knowing, right? Like, am I wasting my time here? Is all this just a waste of time? Or if I quit, will I be shooting myself in the foot because I was just about to hit that critical breakthrough?
But see, that's what drives people like Todd insane, because he can't quit because he thinks he's just about to hit it. So he's just going to keep doing it over and over because he'll get it right. He's so close. He just knows it. So you can drive yourself crazy with that.
Especially when you're crazy.
That's true. Or high on drugs.
Or high on drugs. Or both.
That's right.
The sampler.
On top of being an inherent piece of crap.
Yeah, no, when the truth comes out, when the truth actually comes out. Oh, here, let's do this one. Mark Tarana. What is CW Chanter good and bad about Omni? I think they're asking the previous question.
But they're asking it in reverse. So they're saying, what do you find good and bad about me?
No.
Yes.
The first guy said no. The first guy asked good and bad too. You reversed it.
No, you have to now answer what is good and bad about me.
No, I get it. No, that reversal. I thought you were talking about the reversal. Of good and bad.
We were agreeing, but it sounded like we were disagreeing there briefly.
There you go. What's good about Omni? Well, I do think that you're driven by an essential morality and quest for justice. I think you see things that you know are wrong. You see people engaged in behavior that is incorrect, hurting people, sometimes even damaging to the person themselves. potentially damaging to society if they're putting forward an agenda, an idea, or a concept like urine therapy curing cancer, saying that is potentially dangerous.
Or COVID isn't real.
Yeah, I feel like that's the fundamental drive, and that fundamental drive is a good one. I also think that you're entertaining, funny, creative, and integrated. You know what I mean? Like, and I think you do bring something to the table. I also think you work hard at your craft. I think you do spend time and energy trying to figure out how things work and presenting something. And I do especially think that you're actually entertaining and funny. That natural gift for gab, and especially that natural comedic talent that makes the stuff compelling to watch. So I think there's that. I also think that your manifestation of being a good person, comes forward because I think you treat everybody like they matter. And I think that has a positive impact on people. I think that when you acknowledge and see that somebody in the community is hurting, that you do things to reach out and to change and affect things. And I think that's beautiful too. And Greg has talked about, the role that you played in, helping him through a very, very dark night of the soul. And, Reemsy is like is a gift. Reemsy is like the Ralph Waldo Emerson of like the YouTube world of this little community, I think. He is a special, special person. And the notion that, you were involved in making sure that he stuck around, you know what I mean? Like that's, just a real gold medal in my estimation. What's bad is I think I can lose control and go and get angry at people, and then I have to bring myself back into check and say I'm potentially hurting people. Whereas I think you can really go dark and you have no problem with that. In fact, that could be your agenda, like the notion that you're happy because another human being is homeless. Now, I understand. No, I get you. That it's justified, and for this, but that's not necessarily healthy for them or for you. I think potentially. So I think that you could be a little bit too dark and too aggressive sometimes. And another thing is, I think your single-minded concentration on given individuals for extended periods of time, I think doesn't help you as a content creator. And I don't think it really serves you because things get entirely too personal. But like those are like quibbles, right? I don't really think that those are bad things. Those are just like, some of that's just like, critique of your strategies online.
Well, to be fair, it's not that like I just want them all to be homeless and have terrible things happen. This particular individual like threatened to cut my head off. He's calling Greg and me faggots and all kinds of stuff. And also, he's homeless because one of the reasons is because he threatened to kill his landlord on a video.
I don't do it.
So, he does deserve to be homeless, because if you don't deserve to be homeless after threatening to kill your landlord, what do you deserve to be homeless for?
Threatening to kill somebody else? I don't know. Like,
he deserves to be in prison is where he deserves to be, because you can't just go around threatening to kill random people.
The other question is, like, how many like guys like that exist in the world?
I bet there's a lot more than we realize.
Would you be better served by making one video about each person like that in the world? Or are you better served by staying and camping out on him?
If I throw a million little pebbles at 10 different people, is that going to have more or less of an effect as if I just pick up a big rock and throw it right at Justin's head? I mean, it's in Steven as well. Like, Steven's in prison because he was driven so mad by the fact that he couldn't get me to shut up that he started just going nuts and trying to demonstrate his power. So I proved that he is a danger by not giving up and by continuing to expose. And plus, it was fun for me. If you want to say that, I deserve to burn in hell because I'm gay and all this nasty stuff about me, then fair game. If I deserve to burn in hell and be killed, then you deserve whatever I'm throwing at your head, basically, is how I look at it. And they don't all get like that. There's only a handful that has gotten like that but like with Todd, like he came out for the jugular. He says I'm a cult leader. I try to get people to commit suicide. Like, that is so personal to lob those kinds of attacks at people.
Oh yeah, I mean, like that guy's a particular flavor of shithead when he rolls that. Jasmine Emmerich has a non sequitur question. Say question next week: Ender's Game book review and panel discussion. We were supposed to do that with Spooky, and they I guess she was rereading the book, and we just kind of dropped it. If we don't talk about it soon, it'll be a complete waste of time because I will have forgotten everything about it. Okay, so there's that. Here's the other thing I want to do. So listen, hey, Michael, you participated in Explaining Esoterica's symposium, and you talked about your evolution from being a diehard, rational atheist to being a practitioner. What?
I don't think I was ever an atheist.
Okay.
She put that in the title, but I was more just like an agnostic. But I never have considered myself an atheist.
How was your? Because we talk about this. This came up in this community recently. This notion of like 1 foot in one camp, 1 foot in another. To talk about these people who are peddling woo, but at the same time having kind of esoteric leanings or spiritual questions or practices yourself, and like where's that line?
Well, for me, like, I was so bad that I was counting numbers on license plates and then adding them all up together to see if they were even or odd numbers. Like, if I saw a street like Michael Street, I'd be like, oh, blah, 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 freaking out. And then eventually I got so embarrassed that I snapped out of it, I guess. But then I didn't believe. I was not an atheist, but I just didn't have faith in or believe in anything for years. Ended up in this very dark place, which I ended up in after I started YouTube. I did briefly disappear for like 6 months one point. And I guess over time, I just have realized that I threw all of those concepts out because I was so mad that I was fooled. But they're not all necessarily something to be thrown out. You can make a healthy sense out of an esoteric concept. Like, you don't have to throw the baby out with the bathwater, but it took me going through some things to really integrate it.
How do you feel about tarot cards?
I use them all the time.
Good. Okay, so you can help me with this. Also, what's going on? What is this? So Ben's review is not worthy of my time or perhaps too triggering? What's going on? What did I miss? I hate it when it seems like people that I like think that I don't like them or did something. Because V also said, I love hate truths directed at myself. I'm open game. Call me out.
Uh-oh.
What happened? What did I do? What am I not understanding? What am I missing? What happened? But anyway, let's pull a card. We'll pull a card for this whole show. What's going on? You guys are all nuts. I have no idea what's going on. The book club. What's wrong with do we not want to wait for Spooky? Fuck her. You want to go ahead and do it without her? That's fine. I'll do it without her. I just don't think that I'm directing hate tweets at you or whatever, hate comments. The book club. Let's do the book club. Now I have to read this. Hold on. So let's do this. We'll pull a card. We'll pull a card for this whole shtick. Let's pull a card. I bailed? I read the fucking book. I read the book. What are you talking about? I read the book. What's going on? You guys are all nuts. Anyway, what? I read the book. What's going on? We never finished the Urantia book. Me and Kelly broke up. How are we going to finish the Urantia book? Anywho, I care. Stephen Roden, who cares, CW? Oh, this is the best. You're fucking with me. It's almost fucking with me. I have no idea what's going on. Let's pull a card for today's show, and we'll come up with a interpretation. We'll pull a card for today's show, and we'll see what we get. Okay, does that sound good? Sound like fun? You sound like it's gonna be a barrel laugh.
Well, the last 30 seconds was a little weird for me, so
I apologize. I didn't mean to do that because listen. I care too much about people. This is what happens.
Okay, Todd.
Stop it. No. V is like a supporter. So people will be like diehard supporters, like pushing the Patreon, doing this, whatever. And then all of a sudden I'll look into the live chat and then they're like, way to go, Ben. Wow, now I really know how you feel about me. Guess I'll go ahead and commit suicide because that's apparently what you want. Like, I'll read that shit and I'm like, what is going on? What is going on? I have no idea what's going on. Sorry. Didn't mean to be disrespectful to you as a guest.
Oh, no, it's fine. I don't care.
Good. Let's pull a card for Ivan Teller. No, let's pull a card for. Have Michael show you his Connolly Tarot deck. It's as cool as Handsome Robert.
Oh, I don't want to go get it.
Oh, say take that, Reamsy. I guess he doesn't care enough. Anyway, here we go. Pulling a card. V. Hold on. No, wait. Hold on. One last thing. V says never said anything like that. Well, that was a hyperbolic example. I didn't say you like said that literally, but you did say this. So Ben's review is not worthy of my time or perhaps too triggering. I mean, it's not exactly like I'm giving a hypothetical example. And I never said you said that. I said that that's the sort of thing that I see in the live chat and makes me respond. Sorry. Here we go. A card for today's show. 8 of Swords.
It's for today's show or for Ivan Teller?
It's for today's show.
Okay. Well, that's nice. What do you make of that?
Oh, I go first?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. It's both at the same time.
No. I'm not actually that good at tarot cards. I usually look up the meaning.
Well, I here's what I do. I rely upon occasionally I get the same cards over and over again. So
you can usually get some idea from the image, but
what I love is when I'll have like a total like off the wall interpretation. I'll have like a total off the wall interpretation of like 7 of Cups. And then someone in the live chat will just like automatically, clearly from memory, be like, 7 of Cups, an overflowing abundance of choices.
Greg can do that.
No, I know.
He's probably doing it right now.
Here's what I got for 8 of Swords. Well, first of all, the obvious thing is to start talking about, the balance of the number 8 and the fact that we've got 2 participants in the show here today. We talked about thoughts, ideas, and concepts, and that's the suit of swords, right? Strategies, ideas, conceptions of things, opinions about things, attitudes about things. So we have this person tied up in the middle. Now, what I see when I see these swords around put on one side, 4 on one side, 4 on the other, I see that this is you and me and our different conceptions and ideas and takes on things and opinions about things. And we have a person in the middle kind of bound up. Maybe it's symbolic of the truth because, we are so bound by our own ideas that we can't see the other ideas around us or the other points of view. It might also be that if we think about what's really happening with the middle ground between your ideas and conceptions about justification or my arguments about why to be, more lenient or restrained, somewhere in the middle is someone that can't do anything at all because these situations and ideas might potentially be unresolvable. There might not be a 2 + 2 = 4 to these scenarios. It might not be a resolution of an equation. These thoughts and ideas go around eternally. And whenever we get to the number 8, that's like that. Why does 8? 8 is always infinite. That always brings to mind the concept and point of view of infinity. So I think of all the 8s and their various suits as being the kind of the eternal return of the energy of that card, but also an understanding that if we focus too much on thoughts and ideas, it's a never-ending struggle, which will leave us eternally bound.
Well, I think that person could be the archetypal other figure we've discussed when we talk about Todd or this mother lady or these random weirdos as well. And it could have the same implication that our solutions do nothing to free them from their bondage, So that's another way to look at it.
That's a brilliant way to look at it, right? Because the swords by themselves, the ideas by themselves are inept and kind of impotent without a wielder to actually pick them up, take direct action, and free the individual. Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? Zoltan. Anyway, I was gonna say we would pull another card for something else, but I can't remember what it was, so we won't. There you go. Okay, we have been here for 3 fucking hours. We started at 5.
Time.
It is now 8 o'clock. This was what we did. Remember when we were young, party rocking, young people?
Yeah, but we were both very drunk when we did this back then.
Back in the day, I was thinking about it. Like I met someone, we were talking about, age, and it turned out that she was 22. And I realized this person is like literally half my age. And they're
that's a no.
No, it wasn't even like that. Believe me, at 46 at this stage of the game, I'm no longer playing the game of 22. I 22. And I'm actually like in the point of view where I'm giving her worldly wisdom. Like, the thing about life, kid, you know what I mean? Like, believe you me, there's no, I've had enough trouble in my life. Anyway, let's not get too gossipy. But no, that wasn't to take it off. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh man, I was thinking about youth and the difference between youth and now. Like here we are. This is Friday night, and we spent it talking with each other on the internet. Like, oh my god,
I'm over it. I used to be worried about that, but I'm not. I don't care.
I'm not worried about. No, I'm with you. I'm no longer worried about it. Like I get it. Like I'm not fighting it. And I'm certainly not going to be the old guy at the club. Like I am not going back. Like there's no going back home again. Mother is dead. You cannot go. Mother is dead. The old farmhouse burnt down. There's no going home again. Everybody in town knows your secret. There's no going home again. It's done.
Oh, right? Well.
But we think about it though. Our mind returns, and so it's just funny to think about where Friday night would be like so many years ago, where I would have found myself. But the great thing about, if I think back to 22, that was 1997. I couldn't have conceived of the technological environment that we live in. Right, this would be some sort of weird future down where we were talking to each other on video phone. Who knows?
Yeah, I guess we really couldn't have predicted the way it was. I mean, I guess we predicted there would be like video phones and whatnot, but the specific way the internet has turned out, I don't think anybody could have seen it.
Right? We probably thought we'd still be reading magazines. Right. Anyway, so let's do this again. When was the last time we talked? Would have technically been that Todd Michael Schultz meltdown. I don't know if any of it happened live on the internet.
No, none of that was on the internet.
Behind the scenes. And then before that, I can't remember.
Someone made a sock account saying they were your wife, and it was like when you and your wife were separating. It was a while ago, and they came in the chat and were attacking you in the chat. So I just know that time period is when it was. And I had done one of those replay episodes, but then you said you wanted to come on. So then I stopped the replay, and then we did a live thing, and then I ended the show. It was a while ago, and I think it got copyright removed.
So many years ago, so many time under the bus. Anyway, under the bridge, whatever. Let's end this broadcast. We had 75 people at one point. Now we got 44 because people are like, you keep on threatening to end. That's like my kind of claim to fame. Is we're about to end, folks, and then I'll be like, "Ooh, wait, hold on, we haven't talked about Ronaldinho."
Let's not.
I just remember it was one of like the whatever. Hey, is Doc Savage still around?
Yeah,
he just has better things to do.
Yes,
we're the only people that don't have better things to do.
That's fine with me. I do have better things to do. I just do this. I shouldn't. My guardian angels are like, you motherfucker, do something.
Too funny. Anywho, we end. I have a way of ending. Try not to throw up in your mouth a little bit when I say, you know what? I'll say it to you. Hey, Michael, guess what?
What?
I love you. I love you. I love you.
I'm not saying
Nobody told me they loved you today. Somebody just did. that somebody
Great.
CW Chanter. Make of
Great.
that what you will, and you will.
Okay.
That's
Is that your old call out or something?
that's my thing. That's my ending.
I don't even remember my old ending.
Used to call people your retards.
No, that was the beginning, but then I was like, that's not going to translate well moving forward. Like, probably should stop. It was really hard to get that word out of my vernacular. It's still in there, but I catch myself like, don't say it.
Canceled. That's the word that's going to get me
canceled. You fucking ridiculous person.
Okay, here we go. So now we're officially in. So I'm ending it, folks. That's it. Say goodbye.
Adios.
Michael's going to be on live on D Live tomorrow at 8 o'clock. 9 o'clock.
It's too controversial for 8 o'clock. Got to do it late.
Got to do it at 9. There you go. Folks, I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. If no one told me they loved you today, somebody just did. That somebody CW Chanter. Now to you guys, make of that what you will. I know that you will. And
that was so lame. That was pretty lame that you came up with that and said it multiple times. I'm just saying.
The thing about love is...
It's almost like a narcissistic abuser delusion. Well, I'll stop. I was going to do a Todd impression, but I'll just stop. I could see it would go on, and I got to get off of here. So I didn't mean it. It was all very nice.
The thing about love is it's very easy to make fun of someone who's making themselves vulnerable and open.
It is incredibly easy.
And I just want to say...
Very tempting, too.
I just want to say that despite all of that, I do love you, and I have hope and faith that one day you'll be able to receive that love.
I'm incapable of love. I'm not a human being. I'm an artificial intelligence.
No.
I'm not real.
You're a human. No.
It's not true.
Michael.
You're talking to a computer.
You're not allowed to say that about yourself.
Okay.
You're not allowed to say that about my friend Michael, who I care about.
You're right. You do love me. Oh, God. I could probably work out more tears than Todd last time he did that this morning. Oh, no, wait, it was yesterday.
And we never even talked about Raksha Moose.
Oh, last time I talked to Raksha Moose, there was a chat, and I was in there with a sock account, and I was like, you let everyone down, you lying thief. You lied about that money for your dog, you son of a bitch. And he just looked so depressed and sad, and he was just like doing his nails and saying nothing but reading the chat.
Was that based on anything, or were you just fucking with him?
It was based on, didn't he get money for his dog's surgery and then buy an air conditioner with it?
I didn't know that he bought an air conditioner with it. I helped raise the money.
Yeah, supposedly he bought an air conditioner with it. There's the whole story. Ask around.
Ask who fucking knows about if you and me and
Robin can tell you.
Okay, Robin. There you go. Here we go. Robin Eaglesong says, I want to be on a show about Raksha Moose. Oh my God.
There you go. There's your next guest.
There you go.
Raksha show.
There you go. Here's Reemsy. I ended up liking Raksha Moose. I know that Reemsy paid for 1 or 2 tarot card readings with Raksha Moose.
That's funny because Reemsy doesn't need Raksha Moose to read his tarot cards. Reemsy probably did it out of compassion because he thought the dog needed surgery.
Who knows? Reemsy's gold. Let's say praise for Reemsy for a minute. I think Reemsy is my favorite YouTube content creator of all time.
Reemsy's my best friend. I don't know what else. What do you want me to say? I already kissed your ass. Now you're gonna make me kiss Craig's ass? Come on.
Is that so hard to do?
Yes. No, I'm just kidding. I don't want to say Greg is the nicest person I ever met. And it sounds what? I mean, he's my best friend for a reason. I'm going to sit here and I just feel like it sounds stupid.
Anyway.
I hate talking nice about people. It clearly is something that makes me uncomfortable, in case you can't tell.
I can tell. And that's
Howard Stern, though, I like.
That's what well, next time we have our next session, maybe we can start there and kind of get at that.
That's not going to happen.
I think it is.
It's not.
It is.
Okay. Todd's going to get off drugs first.
Okay, so it'll never happen. Anyway, I tease because I love. Anyway, we're out of here, folks.
Oh. All right.
Ooh.
I gotta go. I don't care what anybody said.
Okay, there you go.
All right, see you later.
Sorry for implicating everybody. If you got offended by anything, I'm sorry. If you took anything personal, I'm sorry.
Not you, Todd.
Thanks to Jasmine and Vanessa for the pizza. I'll eat it. And we will see you all around. Don't forget to take care of see Michael's show tomorrow. And
thanks for having me on
Monday. You're welcome.
All right.
You gonna return the favor and pump my D Live?
Yeah, I'll help you.
So why am I not getting D Live traction?
Because you're putting everything over here, and that people watch it over here. If you have them watch, if they want to see it premiere and go to D Live, then that's why. There's no reason for anyone to watch it on D Live. The chat is over on YouTube. They're going to go where the chat is at.
Fascinating.
So anyway, I gotta go.
Okay. Oh, now you gotta go.
I gotta go pee, so I gotta get off of here.
Okay, we'll see. Bye. Bye.
See ya.